Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, August 11th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, Cash App $ ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We have the New York Mets versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 10 minutes. The first time that Seattle has been able to have a ESPN Sunday night game in over 20 years. First two games have been good. 6-0, game number one, 4-0 last night. We'll see what we get here today. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and I'll get into the starting lineups. And as of a couple hours ago, Buster Only dropped the news that Julio Rodriguez, our guy, he is back. But again, he's not going to be in center field. They're going to see how he is. So they're going to start him off at DH. So we're very excited to get Julio back in the lineup, even if it's not in center field just yet. Let's go. Oh, baby. Julio is back on the thumbnail. Let's get it. And on the left, you know who it is. It is Francisco Lindor. Arguably the best player on the Mets. Great shortstop for New York. And on the right, a guy that's been injured with that ankle when he ran into the wall trying to rob a home run. It's our guy, J-Rod, no-fly zone, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. We've missed you. And we're still waiting on somebody else to be able to get healthy enough to join the lineup, J.P. Crawford. But for now, to be able to get Julio back in the lineup, even if it's only DH, that is electric. Let's go, baby. Excited. Let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting New York Mets. And they made some late scratches within about 15 minutes ago. Leading off for the Mets at shortstop, Francisco Lindor. Batting second, playing center field, Brandon Nimmo. Batting third, the former Dodger, DHing for New York, J.D. Martinez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, the former Mariner, left fielder, Jesse Winker. Batting fifth, playing first base for the Mets, Pete Alonso. Batting sixth, playing second base, Jeff McNeil. Batting seventh, playing third base for New York, Jose Iglesias. Batting eighth, playing right field, Ben Gamel. And batting ninth, catching tonight for New York, Luis Torres. And on the mound for the Mets with a 7-5 record, an ERA of 4.06, it is Luis Severino. And now let's get into the starting lineup for your Seattle Mariners. And before we get into the lineup, let's go down a few Julio photos. Man, it's been a minute since we've been able to have Julio on the thumb or see photos of him unless we periodically bring him up to see how he is doing based off that ankle injury. Tridents up Julio. We've been holding on to these photos for many, many games, many, many days, and it feels like many, many weeks. We can't wait for the no-fly zone at some point, but for now, we'll take you in the batter's box, and this is going to be better than having Mitch Garver at DH. I am happy. Let's go, Julio. My guy. Leading off for the Mariners in center field, Victor Robles. Batting second, playing left field for Seattle, Randy Arozarena. Batting third, Catching tonight for the Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, DHing in his first game back, which seems from way a long forever. We're talking Julio Rodriguez. Man, it's been such a long time, and we are happy that you are back. DHing, center field, we'll take whatever we can get out of Julio. Let's go, J-Rod. Batting fifth, playing second base, Jorge Polanco. Who would have thought that Polanco to Leo Rivas to Justin Turner would have ended up being the defensive play of the year, especially when Polo might be our worst defensive player overall. Pretty amazing stuff with that double play last night. Keep it going, Jorge. Batting sixth, playing first base, Luke Raley. Luke Nukem, baby. We'll take a homer today. Batting seventh, playing third base, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. The photo is so fresh and so clean. Batting eighth, playing in right field, Dominic Canzone. Canzone coming off an injury as well, so hopefully Dom will give us a little bit of juice and energy in the lineup and defensively in right field today. And batting ninth, playing shortstop for the Mariners, Leo Rivas. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 9-win, 11-loss record, an ERA of 3.48, our number 4 pitcher out of 5 in our stable, it is La Piedra, Luis Castillo. Let's go, baby. And we're going to need 6 solid outings. Okay, we've been getting some really good support pitching-wise the last 2 games, as we've seen 2 pitchers go 6-0 and 4-0. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to shut out the Mets 3 games in a row, but I do know that Julio is back, and that gets me excited. And like we mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health, addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things that not only I've gone through, but I imagine some of y'all have gone through the same as well. So if you feel like you're slipping into the darkness a little bit, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine. If you're not exercising, exercise. If you're not eating healthy, eat healthier. Cut back on the fast food. Exercise and take a couple more walks than you're doing right now. And number 3, listen to some music, at least 30 minutes a day. You'd be really surprised if you do those 3 minor things. Spend time with friends, family, and pets. You can get back on track a lot quicker, and you can win the day. We're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall. So if you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Hopefully we can be at the 10 number by 30 minutes in, and then 30 to 50 overall. And we're going to be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Francisco Lindor, New York Mets. Julio Rodriguez, Seattle Mariners. First pitch is coming up here in about a minute and a half. Let's go Mariners. See if we can get the sweep. Obviously, we're playing with house money right now, so we'll see how it goes, but hopefully it ends up going well. Michael A. in the building, how are you? Megan in the building, how are you? $5 holla right off the start, appreciate that. Nick Harris to the Browns and a 2026 7th round pick for a 2026 6th round pick in return. Not sure if you got a chance to watch anything from the preseason games, but I imagine you said it's just about 8:39 a.m. where you're at now, Monday. So I imagine you probably just woke up a little bit ago. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Thank you for the news. I did not see that just yet. $5 holla, 95 to go to hit the goal. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. Jesus in the building. I mean, at this point, you know, I think the Mariners definitely have a very good chance to win, even though we got our 4th best pitcher, maybe even 5th best pitcher, you know, at this point. But even with that being said, if Castillo can get 4 to 7 Ks, it feels like we'll have a good chance to get 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits. the Mets have a little bit more to play for here, this afternoon since they've gotten shut out. And we already won the series, but no team likes to get swept 3 games in a row or 4 games in a row by anyone, whether you're a contender or a pretender. So I imagine the Mets will play with a little bit more urgency. I would be shocked if they end up getting 0. I would assume they will get 1 or 2. And I'm hoping, hopefully the Mariners will end up getting 4 or 5. And maybe we'll end up getting a 4-2, 5-2 final. Just throwing that out there. And I want to make sure we can get the brooms. We got to take advantage of some of the blunders that we've had. We only won 1 game out of 3 against the Red Sox. Obviously, we won 2 out of 3 against Philadelphia. That felt good against the Phillies. But then we only won 1 out of 3 against the Tigers. So if we end up sweeping the Mets, it'll kind of just make up for what should have been done in the previous series against Detroit. But what I do have to say is that this is the first game of Julio Rodriguez being back in weeks and weeks and weeks. And it feels like it's been almost a month since we've seen Julio Rodriguez. And again, we're not going to be able to see him in center field just yet. He's just making sure that those legs are going to be 100%. So that way he can track down those foul balls and track down, obviously, those deep home runs and trying to rob them. So we want to make sure that he's healthy out there. And Victor Robles has done a fantastic job in center field. We haven't really missed Julio, if we're being honest, based off production. We obviously miss him as the individual. But when you get a guy that, is pretty much playing like a top 10 player since we implemented him in center field, we haven't felt the loss of Julio like I think other teams would have if they didn't have a Victor Robles to sub in. We got extremely lucky by getting Robles for pretty much a bag of chips for nothing. But again, sometimes all you need is a change of scenery. You need to go to a different team, a different look, a different jersey, a different city. And sometimes when you're in a funk, in the current team or current city that you're in and you end up moving on somewhere else or someone takes a chance on you, it's a chance to be able to prove that, hey, I was good, Victor Robles 4 or 5 years ago. We went to the World Series when I was a rookie and I did good. But since then, you've been very up and down and a lot of people have lost faith. The Mariners took a chance and thank God we did. It's going to be awesome. But I think the Mariners are definitely in store for a victory here today. If the Mets end up winning, would it surprise me? No, because they're going to play more desperate. But it's one thing to play desperate. You also have to produce. And we got one of the best, pitching staffs, with our stable of 5, right? George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, Bryce Miller. It keeps getting better and better and better. And even the guys that were the weakest, that were maybe 4th or 5th best, have started to play like the top 3. So things are starting to look pretty good here for the Seattle Mariners. First time here on Sunday Night Baseball in over 20 years. Let's see what the Mariners here can do on this Sunday afternoon/evening. Let's go. Okay, no, I hear you. Do you think you're going to end up going, or are you going to stay home? I guess it just depends on, how close the individual was and, how you're feeling at the time. So I totally get that. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Let's go, baby. See where we're at on the likes right now. And then I'll pull up some photos for you here before we get going. All right, we got about a third of the people that are in the room that have smashed the like button. We need 2 more. Now we got 50% of the people to do it. We're at 8. We need 2 more to get to 10, and then 12 more to get to 20. We get to 20 within the first hour. That'll set the stage to get 30 to 50 overall, and that'll really help out with the analytics and the metrics. I got you. I was definitely shocked to hear that Julio was going to be back today, even if it was only going to be a designated hitter role and he wouldn't be playing defense, only hitting. But, when he's been out for, it seems like forever. I know it seems like a couple months, but it's been about a month, 3 weeks to a month, I believe. But every single day that he was gone, maybe he was only gone 2 weeks, but, every game without him felt like an eternity. And it's just nice that we get him back. And hopefully, he'll be able to get a base hit, go 1 for 4 at the very least. And then if everything goes great, then maybe he'll end up going 2 for 4 or better. I don't know if he would be able to do that. I mean, this is his first game back in like a month, so to expect him to go 4 for 4 or 3 for 4 is a little ludicrous. But again, you never know. Anything could happen. But as long as he doesn't go 0 for 4 or 0 for 5, get his confidence back. He's coming back from the injury, and we just want Julio to be the best version of himself until those legs get 100% healthy, and then we know we're going to have him out there for the no-fly zone, and then we can get some singles, doubles, triples, a home run occasionally, steal some stolen bases and steal some bags. That's what we're looking for. I'll throw up a couple answers here for you, and we're going to get started here in just a second. Now it says, you got too many photos of Julio and everybody else. Now let me delete a couple of these. First pitch is going to be here in just a minute. Appreciate you. All right, baby. Julio DHing. First game back. First time on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball in Seattle in 20 plus years, which sounds ridiculous, but it's true. But we'll be back more often because our team is better, and Julio is back, baby. Let's go. I mean, if he goes for a home run in his first game back and his first at-bat, this place is going to go crazy. Home runs at any given point, he'll go crazy. But Julio looks damn good on the thumb, and I haven't been able to use him on the thumb since he's been out with the injury. And I've been sprinkling in pitchers and other players, and I even sprinkled in JP until he got hurt. But it's nice to be able to have Julio Rodriguez back in the lineup. Let's go. No, Julio's not running bases. When you have someone DH as a designated hitter, all they do is hit, and they won't play any defense. So they still got Victor Robles in center field, and that's Julio's normal, regular position. But he's almost ready, but just not ready yet. And I think it's smart to, just have him play DH maybe for a game or two, depending on how his legs feel. And then when he is, 100% with his legs, I imagine right now he's probably like 80, so he doesn't really want to re-aggravate any injuries. But if he can just hit and then just run the bases instead of running all over the outfield playing, amazing defense and potentially, getting another injury, it would probably make sense to be a little cautious. And he's already been out for like a month, so it's not like he's only been out a day and he's testing it. He's been gone for a long time with the ankle, a lot longer than I expected. We thought it was going to be 2 weeks, and it started to be almost a month, but better safe than sorry. And then I would assume in hopefully a few games, we'll see him in the outfield. Then they'll move Victor Robles to right field, and then we'll have Randy Arozarena in left, and it'll create one of the best outfields in baseball. The no-fly zone will be exciting. Let's go. Captain Oreo in the building. What's good? And I got the Julio jersey on today for extra luck. Sometimes it's hot. Our heat wave is over, so we're going to have a lot of weather of between 70 and 82. That's much better than 90 to 100. And I'll be able to wear a few more of the jerseys and the merch that I got. But when it ends up being like 100 degrees, calling a baseball game with multiple layers on with a chain, sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. But again, today a little bit cooler, and I'm definitely ready for this matchup. Judah in the building. What's good? Not a big fan of basketball anymore like I was when I was a kid. But I will admit, Judah, I was more excited about the gold medal game for the men and the women than in the playoffs in general. I guess regular season for college basketball and the NBA sometimes is a little dry and boring for me, unless, you have a particular player that you love, like Giannis, and, or you're a Celtic fan, or, Tatum and Brown, like you got a reason to watch. But if you're not one of those, like, 5 fan bases, sometimes regular season matchups are tough to watch, unless you're just a hardcore fan. But I'm just saying, for the average person, it's kind of tough. Now, when it goes into the NBA playoffs and March Madness, and you play for something, it means a little bit more. And then when you play for a gold medal, that's like the ultimate. besides being, in the championship game, game 7, and you're trying to win the trophy. And I actually watched in entirety, the gold medal game for the men's with Steph Curry going crazy late. And I even woke up at like 6:30 in the morning to watch the women's because I wanted to see if they could beat France, because they were both going against France as the number 2 team. France is very close to being able to beat USA if they add a couple more NBA players. And then for the women, I think the women got extremely lucky. But they have amazing players like Kelsey Plum and Asia Wilson that if those ladies didn't step up late, they would have lost. I mean, even France made a buzzer beater too when her foot was on the line. And if she would have stepped 6 inches back, it would have been tied and then went to overtime, and maybe France would have won. So, the USA women's only won by 1 point. But they won. They got gold. And I think it's 5 consecutive golds for them for the last 20 years. So obviously USA knows how to get the medals, gold, silver, and bronze. Obviously we're number 1, 40 plus in every category. And then be able to get the men's and the women's there for the basketball. Not a big fan of basketball anymore like I was in the 80s and 90s, but I will tell you, those FIBA rules and the way the game is played in the Olympics, it's a lot more exciting to me than I think to even some NBA fans. I've seen them commenting on it as well, that even hardcore NBA fans kind of prefer the Olympic style rather than the traditional NBA style. First pitch, right down the middle to Francisco Lindor. I see you. One ball and 1 strike from Luis Castillo La Piedra. Pitch is high, check swing. Did he go? 1 ball and 2 strikes. And I didn't watch a lot, a little bit here and there. Some events are a little bit more, my style. And Lindor chops that one towards first base foul. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. But, it definitely gets you to a point. I feel when the summer or winter Olympics end, it kind of is a little down period. But, they had a great Olympics. I think the coverage was pretty good. They got hell, they even got Snoop Dogg and Flavor Flav to go down there and support and show love. And Flava Flav donated a lot of money to the water polo crews and helped get them money and food to be able to survive properly down there. And then Snoop Dogg was getting paid, I think, $500,000, $500,000 a day just to pretty much be Snoop Dogg and just hang out and, just bring that energy, to the Olympics and whatnot, and just bring that swag and aura that Snoop Dogg is. So I feel that they did a good job presenting the Olympics. And I think there was quite a few moments that where history was made, regardless if you give a shit about the Olympics or not. Top of the first, 1-0 count to Nimmo. Nimmo pops up. Robles is there, 2 away. All right, no worries. Reflect in the building. What's good? Lindor, Don. Brandon Nimmo, Don, with the pop-up to Robles. Next up, the former Dodger, DHing for New York, J.D. Martinez. Julio is back. DHing, but we'll take it. Any way we can get Julio, because when we end up getting Julio back, whether it's DH for a few games, strike to J.D. Martinez. 0-1 count, but that means that J.P. Crawford is right around the corner as well. So DH for a few games, then we'll put him in center field. Robles will move from center to right, and then we'll get J.P. probably back in a couple weeks. And hopefully that pinky will be healed up enough where he can actually play some good defense and hit the baseball. Help us move guys over. Bring that swagger, aura, and vibe that we all love about J.P. Crawford, as well as Julio Rodriguez. Martinez. Pitch in there for a strike with the sinker. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Luis Castillo to J.D. Martinez. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. What's good? Big swing and a miss. Got him. Good inning for Castillo. And like I was mentioning to my buddy Justin, he just got back from his Seattle trip with a 6-0 win and a 4-0 win. And he made it back on the train to watch this game here this afternoon. But as long as Castillo, La Piedra, doesn't give up 1 to 4 runs in the first 2 innings, we're Gucci. We're good. But when he does give up 1 to 4, runs, in the first 2 innings, and that really goes for any of our pitchers, Kirby, Gilbert, Wu, Castillo, Miller, any of them give up 1 to 4 runs in the first 2 innings, it kind of sets the tone that, we're not going to get 8, 9, 10 Ks, and we might not even get 4 to 7 Ks. We might only get a few, 2 or 3 or 4, and we might get pulled in the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning. And if that happens and our bullpen is shaky and we don't have any run support and we don't get the 4 runs to help him out or the 7 to 10 hits, then those are the games that we score 0 to 3 and we suck. And we end up having like 4 wins and 40 plus losses in that scenario when we score 0 to 3. And obviously our batting average is on pace to be the lowest of baseball all-time record. So again, we want to make sure that the batting average will slowly get better, and hopefully Julio and JP can add to that, and then we can keep our guys hot. Victor Robles, Randy Arozarena, and our boy Justin Turner, who's got the day off today. But I don't know. We maybe see him pitch hit late in the game. I'm not too sure, but we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't end up hurting us here with no Justin Turner. I mean, if you look at our pitching staff and then you look at the lineup on possibly what it could be, it's pretty scary. Victor, Randy, Cal, Julio, Jorge, Rayleigh, and then you add, JP, to the lineup, Justin Turner. It's like you literally are going to go 1 through 9, and there's not really going to be any weaknesses. I mean, hell, if our weakest player is Josh Rojas or Luke Rayleigh, besides Polanco, like if those are like the weakest of the weak and we're not getting Haniger or Garver or Rivas or Canzone, and it's like everybody is kind of like an 8 or better on a scale of 1 to 10, and the guys that are at the bottom are 8s, and everyone else is a 9 or a 10, and we can like have that reliability, things are going to get really interesting. And again, if we can get hot at the right time, I don't think anybody's going to want to fuck with the Mariners in the playoffs. And I would say the equivalent to the Mariners in the National League is Elliott's San Diego Padres. When their pitching and hitting is on, even though they've lost Juan Soto and they've lost a few guys here and there in the pitching staff, and obviously, throughout their, hitting guys that usually are grouped together, they usually got a squad or a stable. I think both of those teams are going to be feared, and no one's going to want to play those teams when come playoff time. Popped up into right field. 1 away. Victor Robles. Come on, baby. We need you to get hits early and often. And when Victor gets a hit in his first at-bat, I think we win the game like 9 times out of 10 if he gets a hit in that initial at-bat, because it usually carries over to Randy and then Cal, and then normally Justin Turner when he is in the lineup. But day off here, and they're going to give Julio a chance to see what he can do. Next up for the Mariners, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go. Oh, really? Who hit the home run? It wasn't Jurickson Profar, was it? Oh, shit. No way. I bet Padres were mad. They've been super hot as of late, so I imagine they were probably livid, especially if you're going to be going against a team that you definitely should beat. But that shows you anyone can beat anyone in baseball. Like the Padres can be like the Mariners. We want to win the division. Will we? We don't know. Mariners probably have a better chance than the Padres do catching the Dodgers. But I think that the team that is feared the most in the National League is the Padres. I think everyone knows the Dodgers and Phillies are the best, and then you got like Braves and Brewers and a couple other teams in the Central battling for position, like Cardinals and a few others. But I feel with the Padres, they match up really well to the Braves. The bat goes flying by Randy Arozarena. But I feel like the Braves and Brewers, it's not a very good matchup for them. And I feel that the Padres match up really nicely with the Phillies and Dodgers. They're already natural rivals to the Dodgers. And I think the Padres and Phillies, it's a tough one to kind of match up with, especially if they're on. Same thing goes with Seattle. The Guardians and the Yankees and Orioles are supposedly so much better than us, as well as the Twins and the Royals. But I don't know. We'll see. Cal Raleigh in between the gapper, baby. But like I said, if our hitting can turn into being a top 15 hitting team, we don't need to be top 5, top 10, just in the middle instead of being like bottom 5. If we can get to the middle by the end of the season, with our top 3 pitching staff, the Mariners could probably make the ALCS or World Series just by us being like 15th. Now, if we ended up being like top 10, then we'd be in the World Series probably for sure. So, but I just don't know if we're going to be able to move that aggressively, being from the bottom to the middle to the top in a matter of 2 months. I've seen crazier shit happen, but you never know. Nice job by my boy, Big Dumper Cal Raleigh, the most reliable player on the Mariners. Next up, Julio Rodriguez. First game since July 21st, even though it feels like he's been gone for months. Even though it's been, just like 2 weeks? But it's felt like a month. Is it June 21st or July 21st? See, I think he's been gone for so long, we don't even remember. It feels like a long time. Especially when you have your face of your franchise playing every day, and then all of a sudden he's gone. It feels weird. A week feels like 3 weeks. 2 weeks feels like a month. A month feels like 2 months. I think it's only been a little bit, but it feels a lot longer. But I remember, obviously, him and JP going down around the same time. So, Megan with the tour. Connor Williams, whoop, whoop. Build that offensive line. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Julio on strikes in his first game back, but that is okay. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Connor Williams. Is that who you want as a photo? Let me know and I got you. Appreciate you. Happy Sunday. How are you? See what we got. I'm not sure if we'll have anything. Let's see. Yeah, they don't have too much Seahawk photos of him, but they will, as they go through more games and whatnot. Anytime you can get a good offensive lineman for a decent price that was ranked high, through PFF or a number of different metrics and analytic systems, if you can end up, getting a good number, obviously there's been some issues with the offensive line and the defense. So if you can firm up one of those areas, obviously it'll help out tremendously. So. All right, end of the first inning, 0-0. Let's see who's up next here for the Mets. Next up for the Mets, former Seattle Mariner left fielder Jesse Winker. Batting second this inning in the 5-hole, first baseman Pete Alonso. And batting third in the 6-hole, second baseman Jeff McNeil. Got you. Top of the second, 0-0 Mets and Mariners. Seattle trying to go for the sweep since we were one strike away from getting swept ourselves by the Detroit Tigers. Haniger, obviously being the hero there with a bases clearing double to save the day against the Tigers, and we've won the first 2 games against the Mets, 6-0 and 4-0. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that 3 straight games with a shutout. Even if it ended up being a 1-0 Seattle victory, it would be shocking. But the magic number, 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if the Mets end up getting a run or 2, you would assume they would. I mean, Castillo is probably our 4th or 5th best pitcher, so it's not like he's our number 1, number 2, or number 3. But again, Bryce Miller is probably our number 5, our worst, and he pitched like he was our best a couple days ago. So when you got 5 guys on the same page I don't know if there's any team that can match our starting five when they're on. We're right up there at the very, very top. There might be only one or two teams that could match up with us 1 through 5. Maybe like the Phillies, Dodgers, maybe when they're healthy with all their guys. That might be about it. 1-0 pitch. Castillo in a good zone, in a good rhythm early with that sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike as they got Victor Robles on the mic. DX in the building. What's good? Did you reflect? Did you see that Buccaneer Huskies photo that I had with all the Bengals and Buccaneers that were Huskies? They were all posed in that photo. And then I sent you that old school clip of that Huskies game. I don't know why that popped up on my timeline, but I thought I would share that little footage, even if it's only just a couple minutes. And it kind of gives you a flashback, back in the Pickett days and those old school quarterbacks, Tuiasosopo and all the ones in between and whatnot. So pretty cool. You don't usually see Husky photos in the pros like that. I figured that's why it's pretty rare. I should probably share that. Obviously, Buck fans are going to appreciate it. But again, if you're not a Buck fan, that's not going to come up on your social media. So yeah, but I sent you those 2 things yesterday. You can take a look at it. One is just like a highlight package from ESPN, like in the 2000s, with the Huskies going against some random opponent. And then the other one is just a team photo of the Bengals and Bucks last night from the preseason game, but it's all Husky players. That's it. Nobody else besides Huskies. All dogs. So I figured, that's pretty cool. I was like, that's rare. I should send that to a Husky diehard. They would appreciate that. Top of the second, 0-0 Mets and Mariners. Julio Rodriguez is back. 0 for 1 with a strikeout in his first at-bat. Only DHing, though, waiting for his legs to get fully healthy. And Castillo LaPiedra on the mound with a nice command. Big swing and a miss to Jeff McNeil. 0 balls and 2 strikes. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Let's get to 20 within the first hour. 30 to 50 overall. And again, we'll shoot for 100 in donos on every single stream. And that one hit McNeil on the foot as he goes to first. And if you do have a Twitter/X account, do your boy a solid and like and retweet the post. It'll get us a few more people here as well. Thank you to take a look at. I gotta wait for it to load up. Shout out to Matt and Megan and Lauren. Appreciate y'all. And let's see where we're at right now. Popped up. There we go. He said, I got to make the play. Nice job. Nice job, Victor. All right, where are we at? We need 4 more likes to get to 20. We're at 16. About half of the people in the room have smashed the like button. Now we're at 17. Thank you so much. Only 3 more out of the 12 or 13 that are in there that haven't, and we'll get the number. We only need 3 more to hit 20 within the first hour. Let's get there, baby. Top of the second, 0-0 runners at first and second. Castillo with a pitch inside to try to jam the hitter. Then Gamel. 1-0 count. Gamble. Little dribbler, throw to first. Got him. Victor bringing that energy. I love it. Yeah, Robles got some pet monkeys for pets. Obviously interacted with him, obviously, when he was a kid. And then people thought he was joking when he said he has 2, but he actually does. I guess if you have the right, house and the right, people to look after him while you're playing baseball, why the hell not, right? Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and it's tough, when you end up being a decent quarterback and, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, like with Locker. There was so much potential with some of the guys, and sometimes it's like the team that you go to, and depending on if they have a good coach or a good coaching staff, and if they don't have a good situation on their first team, they might not make it to their second team or third team. They might just play the 4 or 5 years and then maybe be a backup and then maybe third string and then just kind of disappear out of the league. And unfortunately, there's been quite a few Ducks and Huskies over the years that had a lot of potential, but kind of maybe went to the wrong team in the wrong time and just couldn't get it done. You know, those guys needed a lot more supporting cast help to be able to make it, but we still love them as icons in Oregon and Washington. All right, let's go to the bottom of the second, see who's up here next for the Seattle Mariners. Next up for the Mariners in the 5-hole, second baseman Jorge Polanco. Trident's up. Batting second in the 6-hole, first baseman Luke Raley. Luke Nukem, baby. Let's get a homer today. And batting third baseman Hollywood Josh Rojas. So fresh and so clean. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Oh, 1 pitch from Severino to Jorge Polanco on that four-seam fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom of the second, still knotted up at 0. Julio Rodriguez, first game back in weeks after the ankle injury, trying to rob a home run and then slamming his leg and ankle into the wall. And it was only supposed to be for, we thought maybe about a week and a half. Ended up being much longer than that. But, as long as he feels right, that's what matters. And we're trying to get the sweep here against the Mets this afternoon. Game 1, 6-0. Game 2, 4-0. And we'll see what Luis Castillo can do. If Luis can go 6 innings, and again, 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits, I mean, he may end up giving up a big RBI or a big home run at some point. But again, as long as it's not that massive, 4-run inning within the first couple innings, as long as it's not that, then we'll be fine. And we're in the second. So as long as we get out of this inning, we're good to go. 2-2 pitch, change up, low at the knees. Did he go? No, he did not. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. All right, Polo, show us something. Polo, popped up, back. It's gone. Hell yeah. Hey, what did we say at the beginning of the broadcast? Hey, a little tridents up. Sometimes it's guys that you think that aren't going to do anything, and then they end up doing something. This was the photo that was selected for today's game. Sports gods, they listened. 1-0 Mariners. Let's go. Hell yeah. And again, most of the time I use this particular photo, but for whatever reason, today felt a little bit different. Nice job, Polo. And you did have the best defensive play of the year yesterday between you and Leo Rivas. So maybe that extra swagger and that aura and that vibe came off the best defensive play for the Seattle Mariners yesterday. I don't think that we would have ever thought those two names would be associated together, Polanco and Rivas. But man, that double play exchange yesterday was amazing. And it shows you in sports, when you have Uncle Mo and you have the momentum, anything can happen, even when you're a love-hate player that got booed for a month by everyone. Next up is Luke Raley, little dribbler towards first base. 2 away. Next up, third baseman, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. Nice fucking job, Jorge. There we go. Polo, baby. We're 1 like away from 20. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. We got 14 people that haven't done it, so we need 1 out of 14, and then we're going to be there at 20. Let's go, baby. We're almost there. Nice job, Polo. And that's big, again, when you get guys that you have no expectations and then they do something big like that, that'll rub off on the other players. You already know Robles, Rosarina, Cal, Julio, they're going to bring it. Justin Turner has the day off. So since he's got the day off, it's nice that someone else would step up in his place. And big home run for Jorge Polanco to give a 1-0 lead to the Mariners. There we go. Polo, baby. 1-2 pitch to Hollywood Josh Rojas from Severino. That one. Winker running full speed, and it goes foul. We got lucky there. Come on, Josh. Yeah, I would probably say, as of right now, you probably Polo, Rojas, and Rivas. Probably these three are the least likely guys probably to do the big home run. And Dom was injured for a long time, and this is like one of his first games back as well. So you don't really expect home runs out of him that often either. But it's always nice when you get one of the bottom four, bottom five that shouldn't really be doing big things like that end up making a statement play. Now, it would have been great if it was a 2-run blast or a 3-run blast to give us that extra insurance and cushion, but we'll take a solo blast early, just as good as back-to-back hits with an RBI and a score. And now we're up 1-0, and we got all the momentum. Severino, high and inside. Count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Hollywood Josh Rojas. We'll take walks. That'll be positive for us as well. 3-2 pitch. Tried to jam Rojas. Chops that one towards third base, foul. Count remains full at 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And he went around, got him. We'll give Severino some love. I see you, Louise. 7-5 record, ERA of 4.06. We got to try to get him out by the 5th inning. Got a nice punch out there on Josh Rojas. Picks up his Dominic Canzone. Dom, back, all the way to the wall. And he missed a home run just by a foot or two. Wow. Okay, Dom. He's like, hey, one of my first games back. Julio's been hurt. Dom has been hurt. Let me get in there and do something big. Nice job, Dominic Canzone. First pitch strike, takes advantage, crushes that ball, 96 miles an hour off the bat, tries to pull it into left field. Wind picking up a little bit. And he missed it by probably about a foot and a half, 2 feet there. So close. That's a good sign out of Dominic Canzone, let me tell you. Next up, shortstop, Leo Rivas. Go for a bunt here. I want to see Rivas and Robles and a few of the guys bunt once or twice today. Add that to the repertoire. Do something that they might not think that you're going to do. And I think if you're one of the better bunting teams, why not do it 3 or 4 times a game? I mean, you don't got to do it, 2 or 3 times in an inning, but you can spread it out a little bit. Got to think outside the box, especially if you're the number 1 strikeout team. Pitch high in the zone on a 4-seam fastball for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. Nice little close-up of JP. Can't wait for him to come back. Damien in the building. What's good? Rivas chops that one foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Leo. We know you're fast, and you can run the bags well. I mean, he's crushing them foul. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Seattle. Jorge Polanco with a solo blast. A very unexpected home run early on Severino, and we'll take that. Pitch is low and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Severino was walking off the field like the game was over. The inning was over. Come on, Rivas. Keep battling. We want to make sure we strike when the iron is hot. Right over the pitcher's head. Throw to first. Got him. What a defensive gem by the Mets. I mean, we had our defensive play of the year, Francisco Lindor, and that's why he's the best overall player on the Mets. He can make plays defensively and offensively with the 360 spin. Throw to first. No problem. 1-0 Mariners. Wow. Impressive. End of the second inning. 1-0 Mariners. Let's see who's up next here for the Mets as we go into the top of the third. Next up for the Mets in the 9-hole, catcher Luis Torrens. Batting second after making that defensive gem, shortstop Francisco Lindor. And batting third, 0 for 1, center fielder Brandon Nimmo. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. Are we at 20? We got to be at 20. All right, we're at 25. Now we're at 26. We need 4 more likes to get to 30, and then we're going to end up going to that next goal, 30 to 50 for the stream. Let's go, baby. 4 more to get to 30. Thank you to everyone that has smashed the like button, commented, donated, and shared the post. I appreciate you, or the stream. Let's go, baby. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. You know, addiction, depression, anxiety, I've had them. And it's tough to get out of the darkness once you're in it. But if you feel like you can make some minor adjustments to your daily routine, know what your triggers are that make you sad and make you down, and you can go against that, against the grain, and you can exercise a little bit more, eat a little bit healthier, hold yourself accountable, listen to music, spend time with friends and pets. And if you end up doing these basic things, you can turn your life around and you can win the day. Big facts. Take care of yourself. Mental health, the number one important thing in your life for every individual every single day when they wake up. You got to make sure you take care of you. Big facts. Let's go, baby. First time that the Seattle Mariners have had the hosting responsibilities for ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. They haven't been here in 20 years plus. But I imagine that this won't be the last time that they'll be on ESPN. I mean, I would rather watch the broadcast on Root, the local channel, because I think the broadcasting announcers are better. But, you know, I guess it's somewhat of an honor to be on ESPN Sunday night. Supposedly it is one of the better matchups every Sunday. Maybe not the best, but one of the better matchups. Or there's a particular reason why they want to show it. I'm not really sure if this is one of the best for today, but both of us are in playoff position. You know, if the season ended today, we're, you know, both fighting for a spot. So it's not like the Mets are 20 games below 500. You know, they got an above 500 record like the Mariners as well. Top of the third, 1-0 Mariners. Jorge Polanco with a home run there in the bottom of the second to give us a solo lead of 1-0 against the Mets. And we're trying to see if we can do a triple shutout. Game 1, 6-0. Game 2, 4-0. And now we're here on a 3-1 count from La Piedra to Luis Torrens. Go, Luis. Pitch right down the middle. 96 right down the chute. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes for La Piedra. Let's go. 9-11 record, ERA at 3.48, but started the year 0-4. So if you actually look at his numbers, considering he started 0-4, he's been, 9-7 since then. So much better than the very rough start early on. Bang! Got a nice punch out there. I like that, baby. Nice job, Luis. Mariner Moose comes out. Nice punch out. Nasty. Torrens, see you later. Next up for the Mets, shortstop Francisco Lindor, 0 for 1. Let's try to make it 0 for 2. Now we're at 7, not 2. Gotta scroll up. Scroll up, my guy. Top of the third, 1-0 Mariners. Castillo still wheeling and dealing. Hasn't given up those big RBIs or those big home runs that sometimes our pitching staff is accustomed to do. But so far, so good. Big 1-1 pitch on a four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, right past Francisco Lindor. 1 ball and 2 strikes. .93 to go. Lindor popped up over Randy Arozarina's head. Get it, baby. Robles picks it up, and you got a stand-up double out of Francisco Lindor. Come on now. I feel like that one could have been prevented. I don't know what was going on there with Randy Arozarina if he was out of position, but it seemed like they were both out of position on that play. Randy Arozarina as well as Victor Robles. Nice hit by Lindor, though. I'll give him credit. Next up, center fielder for the Mets, Brandon Nimmo. Want to keep an eye on Nimmo. Lauren in the building. What's good? Reflect with a 3-er. Appreciate you. We're at 10. 90 to go. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little cactus check. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Top of the third, runner at second with 1 away. Castillo to Nimmo. 88-mile-an-hour changeup. 2 balls and no strikes. 38 pitches in for Castillo. .231 batting average with 16 homers and 66 ribbies for Brandon Nimmo in 2024. 2-0 pitch. Pitches inside at the knees. 3 balls and no strikes. To Brandon Nimmo from La Piedra. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. The Julio jersey is back. Pitches inside, and that is 4 straight balls to Brandon Nimmo. Now you got guys on first and second. You got to be really careful here. So we got Lindor. You got Nimmo at first and second. Now you're getting into the heat of the lineup, and you got to make sure that you pitch around the strike zone. You keep it too close down the middle to JD Martinez that can speed trouble. Come on now. We need a double play, baby. Castillo starting to lose control. Everything is going wide left by about 3 feet. Cal's got to go out there and get him calmed down and figure out a different type of strategy or game plan here. I was reading an article and watching a video yesterday, and you know how good Logan Gilbert did and Bryce did 2 days ago. And I guess Logan Gilbert called off Cal Raleigh only one time. You know, like usually they'll communicate, and usually the catcher is making the call, because he knows best, right? Even though the pitcher might be an all-star or like a really good player, right? So Logan called off one pitch, and for that one pitch that Cal Raleigh did not agree with, Francisco Lindor ended up getting a double. So they had a nice little conversation about that, and I think the pitchers know they should be trusting Cal a little bit more. But every once in a while, these pitchers, they have that confidence in themselves that they feel they can maybe do another pitch to get a guy out. But if you're a catcher and you're back there, you're going to be seeing and calling those games, and not that every catcher is going to have the intelligence like Cal Raleigh to call a good game all the way through. But when you get an all-star like Logan Gilbert saying, yeah, I'm going to hear about it in the locker room, and they can have a good relationship about it, and then Logan knows that he was wrong. You just want to make sure that you get your pitchers and your catchers, on the same page. And another thing about Cal, being able to call a particular game based on who's pitching and knowing the strengths and weaknesses of the pitches between each guy that he's working with. And again, that's what really takes, I think, Cal Raleigh to another level that a lot of people don't really see, unless you're a Mariner fan and you're digging deep. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is high on the corner. Borderline strike just misses on the 4-seam fastball. Count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. We've got to make sure we get this out here. Let's go. Popped up. Can zone is there. 2 away. No tag up. We keep him honest there. Going to a new restaurant is always good with getting some new food and getting a little leftovers. That's always fantastic. The meal is always great, but it's like, kind of like Thanksgiving. When you have the turkey sandwiches and the mashed potatoes and gravy and you got the pie, sometimes that second and third meal is just as good as the first, sometimes even better. And I ended up watching a little bit of that Broncos and Colts preseason game. High scoring, obviously, mistakes on both ends, but definitely a good amount of talent on both squads. And we'll see what happens as the season opens up and how Bo Nix will play with the rest of the team. And we'll see what AR looks like, obviously, with this defense and with him and Jonathan Taylor with a nice 1-2 punch. Top of the third, 1-0 Mariners. Runners on the corners at first and third with 2 outs. Next up is the former Mariner, Jesse Winker. Can't let Jesse Winker make us pay. Jesse looking real skinny in this photo. Jesse looking like he weighs like 150 in this photo. Super skinny. Pitch on the corner for a strike. Here we go. Yeah, I agree. One-two pitch. Pitch is outside on that 4-seam fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Castillo can't really hit the strike zone anymore. Seems like it's a big effort to get it in the zone. And sometimes, less speed and more location is better. But sometimes when you're just a hurler and you're just throwing heat, 3 balls and 2 strikes. But that's what kind of makes me nervous of guys like Castillo, where you might have been able to get away with that when you were on the Reds, or maybe your first year with us in 2022. But your numbers each year have dramatically gone down, and you haven't been the same player as you were in 22 and 23 and now in 24. Got him, but we'll take that punch out. There we go. Nice job, Luis. There we go. And I was hoping that he was going to find a way to be able to step up. And sometimes, Luis will. And other times it's just walk, hit by pitch, RBI, big hit, home run. And then we're frustrated, after the inning is over. So I'm really happy that they did not score. They had guys at first and third. And that was the best chance the Mets had of scoring in the last 3 games. Since we shut them out in game 1, 6-0, and game 2 yesterday, 4-0. Nice job, Luis. Good job. See who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 0-for-1 center fielder Victor Robles. Batting second, 0-for-1 with a K, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 1-for-1 catcher, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Is it a home run for Cal Raleigh today? Feels like it could happen. He could bring that electricity. I think he's overdue. It'd be nice for him to homer today. We already got a Polo homer, right? So we might as well, if we're already using the tridents in the photos, we had Polo and we have Cal. It would only make sense for Cal the homer today, right? Let's go, baby. Nice job. And again, I think, like I said, the consensus typically is when Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, Castillo, and Miller, when they end up giving up 1 to 4 runs in the first 2 innings, we're screwed. The game's over. luckily today, and as well as the last 2 days with Miller and Gilbert, everyone has been on. We haven't really had a weak link, and that is kind of rare too, because sometimes we'll have like good pitching, and then like bad, or bad, good, or good, bad. Like sometimes it's kind of rare to have 3 consecutive guys in a row, even though we have a top 3 pitching staff. We probably have, arguably the best 1 through 5 in the league, or one of the top 2 or 3 1 through 5s in the league. But a lot of times you're not going to get every single guy in a row. Maybe number 1, number 3, and number 5 do good, and then 2 and 4 don't. Or maybe 2 and 4 do good, but 1, 3, and 5 suck ass. So it's kind of nice to be able to see this. Robles back to the warning track in left field. 1 away. Jesse Winker out there in left field says, not today, Robles. 1 away. Let's go, Victor. Next up, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. And it's cool that we got, not only Randy, but we got Victor, and they both, have a kind of a swag and aura personality. They're a little loud, and they try to get the energy up, and that's really what we needed. We needed an energy boost, and we don't have, Teoscar Hernandez. We don't have, Eugenio Suarez anymore at third base either. So it's nice to be able to have a couple guys other than Julio. And once we get Julio back, the whole outfield will be chirping, with no fly zone, and the mood and the vibes are going to be great. And then once we get JP back in the infield, as long as that pinky's healed up, I think the universe will be right for the Seattle Mariners and the fan base moving forward. I mean, how many teams that, could miss out on their number 1 and their number 3, or number 1 and their number 4 hitter, for a month and still be able to survive? Not many teams would be able to survive if they had JP Crawford and Julio, and those guys were starting for their favorite teams, and then all of a sudden they both went out for like a month. I mean, a lot of teams would not be able to, survive and, tread water. And that's really what we've had to do. We've had to try to tread water, and sometimes we overachieve. Sometimes, we sink the own ship, with bad pitching or a bad bullpen, but I think we've done pretty good with all things considered. Victor Robles to first. We'll take that. Next up, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. 1 for 1. Let's see if he can end up going 2 for 2. And could we end up getting a home run at some point in the game? I'm not sure if we would get one right here. Usually we'll get them in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, but an early inning home run within the first 3 innings from Cal isn't unheard of either, especially when he ends up getting 2 in one game. Sliding into second, and he's out by a mile. I don't know what Randy was thinking there. That was like one of those Julio jumps where you already knew he was out, maybe 2 feet before he even attempted to slide. Kind of a wasted opportunity there. And it's not like Randy is a big, long guy with long legs or fast. He's kind of just a little undersized and maybe a little slower, for other guys his size. Not the fastest guy out there on the bags. And, if you can't even see the player while the throw is being, made to second, and you don't even see him in the picture frame, chances are he's going to be fucking out once he ends up entering the picture frame, and then they already have the ball in their hands at second base, and that's what we saw. Pitches inside with the cutter to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 3 balls and 1 strike. Let's go, Cal. Look at Cal there. Benito Santiago and Mike Piazza. Look at that. And there's a walk. Just a matter of time before we get Cal and Adley Rutschman in the All-Star game on the daily, on the regular. All right, Cal. All right, here we go. First game back in weeks with the ankle injury. Trying to rob a home run. Playing DH, I would assume, for a few games. Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up. Welcome back. Big swing and a miss from Julio. 0-1 count. Nothing has changed. Let's go. But he's going to be aggressive. That's just who he is. But he did start to kind of get on a heater right before he got injured. 262 average, 11 homers, and 37 ribbies. Not great. Obviously, a guy that can get 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. And that seems like that should be like the norm for him. But at some point, if Julio can develop a 40-40 season or a 50-50 season, if he can continue to get better and be better in the box, I don't think that would be unheard of in the next 15 years before he retires, that if he could have a season or two like that of 40-40 or 50-50. But I mean, at this point, he kind of went backwards in year number 3, and hopefully in year number 4, he'll be a little bit better. And there goes Julio into the dugout, 0 for 2. Let's go to the top of the 4th, 1-0 Mariners. Yeah, I actually ended up watching the USA men's and women's. I even woke up at like 6:30 this morning to watch the women's play, just to see if they could end up beating France. And I actually think, basketball in the regular season, boring. That basketball in college in the regular season, boring. Unless it's like a Duke, North Carolina heated matchup and it's like, on ESPN or something and it's like worth watching. But for the most part, it's like not that exciting. Then you go to the playoffs and March Madness and it gets better. But for me, I like to be able to watch things where something means something. And so unless it's like the NBA Finals Game 7, whoever's going to win is going to be the champion, to that kind of caliber would be like getting the gold medal. And I think with the FIBA rules, it's more entertaining watching USA and France play for the men and women's than for me watching some March Madness and some of the NBA playoffs and the NBA Finals. I just think the format is a little bit funner to watch. I don't know. And obviously when you're going for a gold medal or a silver, there's a lot on the line, and I like watching things that are on the line. And USA, Steph went off. He was cooking, and obviously that might be his only Olympics, and that was the only thing that he was missing from his amazing career as the best shooter of all time. Obviously we've seen Reggie Miller and Ray Lewis, but Steph is the chef, right? And the women's, ended up watching them, and Aja Wilson and a few others like Kelsey Plum. And Kelsey Plum might be a little undersized compared to a lot of her teammates, but let me tell you, that lefty is so good at basketball. I'm a big Sabrina supporter, go Ducks. And when you see Kelsey, like, they wouldn't have won the gold without her. Like, they got to a point where they were down by 10 and she ended up getting a big 3, a steal, and then a great assist, and then ended up getting 5 points back within like 20 seconds. And there's not very many players on that women's team, that have the ability to drive with left or right hand, to be able to have that mindset to dish and to create the good dimes and not be selfish. But to me, like, that was the X factor and the difference. If they didn't have Kelsey Plum, she doesn't have to be the number 1 scorer on the team, and she usually isn't. She'll be like 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, depending on the game. But they ended up winning at a buzzer beater that France made, and her foot was on the line, so it ended up counting as 2, not 3. And then the USA women's won by 1, men won by more than 6-8 points. It was like double digits or whatnot. So obviously a little bit more stressful for the women's. But I enjoyed both matchups. And I don't really enjoy basketball that much anymore, but I did enjoy the gold medal game for the men's and women's. And I mean, shit, if I'm going to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to watch, obviously that must be I must care a little bit. Big swing and a miss in the top of the 4th to Pete Alonso. And I'm glad that I woke up, because I knew it was going to be good. It's not like I woke up and I'm like, what did I do this? This is stupid. Like, I knew that it was going to be good. And obviously on the men's, you had Wembanyama, Rudy Gobert, and a couple pros. So we knew France was going to lose on the men's side. But, you get 1 or 2 more qualified French players, right? They might be able to take USA down the road, but not yet. There goes Pete Alonso. See you later. 1 away. I like that, baby. Nice job, Louise. Another punch out. Mariner Moose loves that. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Let's get to 30 likes. Not today, Pete. Next up is Jeff McNeil, the second baseman. Pops that one foul. 0-1 count in the top of the fourth. 1-0 Seattle with a Jorge Polanco solo blast. Yes, he is. She'll have her time, and again, there's going to be a little politics involved in that as well. Sometimes, you can have the most popular player there, but it's not like she's just popular. She's good. But again, there's going to be other people there that, that have been there for a while and whatnot. And you got to think with Caitlyn just, entering her career, it's kind of like when they left Shaq off Dream Team and they did Christian Laettner. Shaq was the better player. Christian Laettner ended up making that epic shot, against Kentucky. And, obviously everyone knew, how famous Christian Laettner was, but we all knew Shaq was going to be the better pro. And sometimes they don't end up, selecting the best team overall. Sometimes they end up leaving one or two pieces behind. Same thing with Isaiah Thomas, because Michael Jordan didn't like him. So that was an individual that was snubbed, from the original Dream Team. So it happens. Sometimes you're not going to get, everyone on the team. But also, too, you got a vet like Diana Taurasi, who's an OG, who's been to like 5 fucking Olympics. And even though she didn't really play and she was like on the bench more as like a coach, sometimes you want to reward those players that have been good for 20 some years, because that might be the last time that Taurasi is there, compared to, you're going to see Caitlin Clark in probably 3 or 4 Olympics before, she's all said and done. So, but was she deserving of the Olympics? Yeah, I think she would have been, a good bench person that they could have swapped in. She would have helped the team, not hurt the team. That's for sure. Top of the fourth, 1-0 Mariners. But it's not like they were going to have Angel Reese and her, or maybe one or the other. And maybe that's why they didn't have either. Big swing and a miss, and he falls down on the ground. Castillo with another punch out. Woo! Wow. Iglesias. Jose. Embarrassing on ESPN in front of a global audience, falling down. Another punch out there by Luis Castillo. Let's look at his numbers. Usually like to do that about halfway through the game. All right, Luis, let's see where you're at, my guy. 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Unbelievable. 65 pitches, 38 strikes, 3.38 ERA. And then let's take a look at Luis, because we're not haters here. Gonna fire Luis photo. Woo, look at that. HD 4K action. 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and that was the Jorge Polanco solo home run. 2 walks and 4 Ks. So doubling up what Severino is doing, and that is shocking. But again, we've been on a little bit of a heater, winning game 1 6-0 and game 2 4-0, but it all starts with the pitching. Nice job, Luis. Hell yeah, baby. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, the hero so far today, 1 for 1 at the defensive play of the year. Just last night with the double play with him and Leo Rivas. Who would have thought? And then he says, you know what? I know I've been bad. I know the fans have been booing me. But I guess I gotta hit some home runs and get some RBIs to make the fans have that love-hate relationship with me a little bit more. Second baseman Jorge Polanco. Trident's up. If you really want to get on our good side, hey, do it again. Let's go. That'd be crazy if he does it again. It would be almost unbelievable. You never know, though. Batting second, first baseman Nuke Rayleigh. Let's go, Luke. And batting third baseman, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. If we can get Rayleigh and Rojas back up to the numbers that they were at April and May, and we can get JP and Julio at where they were before they got injured and kind of going in an upward direction, that could be really the difference in the Mariner team making a deep run to the ALCS or getting eliminated before that. If those 4 bats and those 4 defensive players can step up, that could be really the difference. Rayleigh, Rojas, JP, and Julio. We already got confidence in a lot of the other guys, and obviously we still have some question marks in the bullpen, waiting for Santos to get healthy. We like Garcia, we like Andres Munoz, but besides those 2, do we really honestly trust anybody else besides those 2 game in and game out? And I think the answer is no. I think that you're going to get decent performances out of both and Thornton and Sauce once in a while or situationally, even though Sauce has been bad as of late. It's like some guys can only get 1 out. Some guys can get 2 outs. And some guys can get 3, right? But it all depends on the situation as well. And hopefully the bullpen can get a little bit more stability. And if we can figure that out and get all our hitters on the same page, we might be able to make a deep run here in 2024. Especially with Victor, Randy, and Justin Turner a part of this team. It feels like a brand new team. It doesn't feel like the same team, that we had, obviously, with those 3 new additions, but it just the type of players that we have. Guys that are vocal, guys that have good energy, guys that are good teammates, guys that are willing to teach the other vets, like Mitch Haniger, some technique. So that way Justin Turner can help some of our guys that have been struggling. And Haniger and Turner have been working together, right? You've seen Cal Raleigh and Luke Rayleigh working together. You've seen Cal Raleigh working with the pitching staff. And you're starting to see some of the other newbies work together. And I like what I'm seeing. And I can't wait to see the full no-fly zone with Julio in center, right? Randy Arozarena in left. And then Victor Robles moving from center to right. Unbelievable plays are going to happen out there in that outfield. It's going to be awesome. Like, who's going to have a better outfield than us in Major League Baseball? I don't think anyone will touch us. If Julio starts being Julio, who's going to be better than Randy Arozarena, Julio, and Victor Robles? Come on. Especially when Victor's been playing like a top 10 player for the most part, in the last month. Big facts. Let's go, baby. He's going to have to earn it in the depth chart, because you still got, a few of the guys that are there, like Thomas is still there. So you still have guys that are going to be more skilled than him. So, I would assume for Troy, they'll probably have to start off somewhere between 3rd and 5th string. And they probably already have the first 2 guys that they feel comfortable with that have been there. But if number 2 starts playing bad, or slipping up and Rojas strikes out, hands boo, that, maybe down the road, Franklin could end up being the number 2, but I don't think it's going to be right away. You might have to wait a couple years for him to develop to be a 2, but right now he'll probably be a 3, 4, or 5, and he has to work his way up. Like Bo, he's the starting quarterback, period. They already have him as kind of like a Baker Mayfield, Drew Brees hybrid. He just needs more experience, more time, better offensive line, better running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Obviously, you got the coach and the scheme in place, and then you need a better defense. So once all those things come into play, then we'll see where it goes. But, I don't think you're going to see a Joe Montana, Jerry Rice type of, 1-2 punch out of Bo and Troy, right away. Bo has already got the spot. Troy is going to have to work very hard to keep himself in the league and let alone get on the field. A little undersized. He's got an enormous talent. But again, and they do have room to move up in the depth chart in Denver. It's not like everything is set in stone. But he's going to have to work hard to beat out some of the vets that have been on the team for a few years. He was up here next in the top of the 5th for New York. Next up for the Mets, 1 for 2, The best overall player for New York, shortstop Francisco Lindor. Hey, there's a reason why he gets on the thumbs. He's the man. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, center fielder Brandon Nimmo. Nimmo is like a mosquito. Like he's like that pest. And if you take him for granted and just think that you're going to be able to get everything by him, he'll hurt you. And, Nimmo is going to be an X factor. And if they end up coming back, he might be one of those sleeper players. Obviously, we assume it's going to be Lindor, J.D. Martinez, and Pete Alonso. But again, if they can get Nimmo, Winker, and McNeil going, that'll transfer over to the lower guys like Iglesias, and Gamel, and Luis Torrens. Yeah, but you got to think also, too, Captain Oreo, even though players can be good in college, I mean, look at Marcus Mariota. He won the Heisman. Michael James was one of the best running backs when he was in college, 10, 15 years ago. Anthony Thomas was like the Tyreek Hill of college football at Oregon. But all three of them really didn't pan out as much as we thought they would in the NFL. And all three of those guys are better athletes, and overall players than Troy. Obviously Troy ended up having a good situation with Bo there, but I mean, shit, if you're like DeAnthony Thomas or LaMichael and you're a freak of nature and you still can't make it, again, it's going to take a lot of hard work. And I'm not saying that Troy can't make it. He can, but it's kind of crazy on the talent level of how good you can be in Pop Warner, high school, college, and then you can go to the NFL and, just kind of be a guy. And you're not the same impact player as you were in college. It's man's game. But I wish the best for Troy and Bo, and hopefully it ends up working out. But they still got a lot of holes to fill on that roster. But at least on the bright side, this is the best quarterback that Denver has had since Peyton Manning. It's not, Trevor Siemian. It's not Brock Osweiler. It's not fucking Russell Wilson. You actually have a guy that you can be proud of, here in the under center, and that you feel that you can grow with. Like it feels like this could be the guy. And, obviously having, to have a legacy to compare to John Elway and Peyton Manning, tough. But again, this is the best quarterback that they've had since Peyton Manning, and it's going to take some time, but I definitely see a little Baker Mayfield, Drew Brees hybrid. It's like I see a little bit of Baker in the way that he's built and the way that he plays and his throw delivery. I see a little bit of Drew with the leadership and everything else that he brings with those intangibles, and obviously being a very smart individual, knowing where everyone is supposed to be at. And I wouldn't be shocked one bit if Bo and Michael Penix Jr. end up being two of the better quarterbacks in this draft. Now, I think Caleb's got a lot of physical athleticism, but it's going to come down to his mind and, with the audibles and the play calling and him trying to be like the man. And if he can prevent himself of, trying to force too many things, and everyone's going to make mistakes as rookies, we know that. But if he can play within himself, I definitely think Caleb can pan out. But if he ends up, putting too much pressure on himself, number one pick and all that, it could be a little bit tougher for Caleb than maybe some of the other number one picks that we've seen in the last couple years. So, and he is on the Bears, not really the best situation. Yeah, you got Keenan Allen, you got some receivers, but they are traditionally dysfunctional, kind of like the Washington Commanders. We haven't really seen a whole lot out of Chicago in quite some time. I mean, it's been a minute, since they've been relevant. Khalil Mack, and usually when the Bears are relevant, they have an amazing linebacker or some kind of Hall of Fame defensive player. Brian Urlacher, Richard Dent, Mike Singletary, Urlacher, and then obviously Khalil Mack. And you don't really have that staple, that guy, and once they do, and they have a face of the franchise on defense, maybe that's when the offense will come together. So, but we'll see where it goes. I don't got a whole lot of faith in Drake May and J.J. McCarthy, but J.J. McCarthy in a better situation than Drake May, and J.J. made a couple throws. We'll see how he does. But I still think Michael Penix Jr. would have been a much better fit in Minnesota, and I think the fan base would have loved that pick more. But again, we'll find out if they, think JJ is one of the best, or if he ends up being one of the flops in the draft. And then if Michael ends up being one of the best, they'll go back and look at that draft and think, we had Hawkinson, we had Addison, we had Jay Jetta. We could have paired it up with a lefty like Tua, right? And Michael Penix Jr., and you just went for the local guy that was close from Michigan and JJ, which they just ran the ball with Blake Corum and company and played good defense. So it's not like I think McCarthy stinks, but to me, he's just a guy. He's just going to be somewhere between 15 and 20. I don't really see him being a top 10 quarterback. There's quite a few other guys I think that would have a better chance of hitting that number. Nemo. Whoa! Diving catch by Randy. Him and Victor Robles collide. Hopefully they're okay. Wow! What a defensive gem by the no-fly zone. Wow. That could have been really bad. That knee could have went right into Randy's head. And when that happens, that's usually a concussion. So good thing Victor jumped over him at the last minute. Whoa. Yeah, but also, too, it's preseason. So, J.J. McCarthy doing good in preseason doesn't mean that he's going to be doing well in the regular season games. We'll see. He does have a good frame, but I'm not sure if I really believe in him being better than all the rest in the draft class. Top of the fifth, 1-0 Seattle. One thing about Caleb that I do like is supposedly he's taking over the Tom Brady diet. So he's not able to eat, a lot of the meats and the carbs, and there's a very minimal amount of things that he can eat, like with fish and vegetables and whatnot. So it's a very, very strict diet. So if Caleb can actually hold himself accountable and get a professional cook to make him these meals, and he can stay to that regimen, Caleb, that might be the X factor for Caleb being a little bit better than some of the other rookies, because I don't think a lot of the other rookies are going to go to that extent, and Caleb is going to be able to reach out to Tom and talk to him whenever he wants, and obviously trying to follow that particular diet. To my knowledge, there is no other player that's doing the diet besides Tom. Tom was really the only one that did it that particular way. So Robles is there with Randy. They miss a collision again. No fly zone, baby. But if he can stick to that diet, that could be huge for Caleb's development. One less thing that he has to worry about. He'll be at a good weight, look good, feel good, play good, and then it's just about studying the playbook, getting chemistry with the players, and then going from there. So, that's one thing that I admire. If you are going to take care of your body and you're going to exercise and put the right food in and make a conscious effort to, leave some of that other food out, even though it tastes good, it's a sacrifice. But to me, that shows that, Caleb is actually like, I'm trying to be a number one pick, and I'm not trying to be a flop. I'm not trying to be a bust. Like, I'm actually trying to live up to the number one pick. I'm trying to be at least one of the top three quarterbacks in this draft class, if not the best. So hopefully that'll work out for him. And obviously Chicago is a little dysfunctional. But one thing is for sure with these rookie class quarterbacks, some of them are going to end up having growing pains. All of them will, right? But they are going to make some plays that are going to make you be like, damn, like, the future is, is very close for some of those guys. But a couple will pan out, a couple will fail, and a couple will fail until they go to their second or third team. So not everyone's going to pan out right away, but I'm definitely excited with what I've seen so far in preseason week 1. MSU in the building. What's good? Let's go to the bottom of the fifth, 1-0 Mariners. And if you're just tuning in, Jorge Polanco with a 1 yard or a solo blast in the bottom of the second to center field, 415 to 16 feet. Definitely very unexpected. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. How are you doing, MSU? Like, sub, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. Are we at 40 likes yet? Are we at 30 yet? What are we at? Are we at 30? We're at 34. We need 6 more likes to get to 40. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Now we're at 35. 5 more to hit the goal to get to 40. Let's go. We can do that. Next up for the Mariners in right field, Dominic Canzone. And his first at-bat ended up missing a home run by about 2 feet. So that's a good sign for Dominic Canzone since him and Julio have been out for quite some time. Batting second, shortstop Leo Rivas. I would like a bunt attempt here sitting in the 9-hole as batter number 2. And number 3 will be center fielder Victor Robles. And this could be another guy that could actually go for a bunt he is 0 for 2. Normally he'll end up swinging at a first pitch strike in the first 2 pitches. And when Victor ends up getting a base hit in the first inning, that's usually when we end up playing very, very well. When he ends up getting his first base hit in his third at-bat or fourth at-bat, that ends up being a little bit more hit or miss for our team. And then if he ends up going 0 for 4, Victor Robles, typically we lose. So hopefully Victor will be able to find a way to get on base, even if it's a bunt. But this would be a great inning to drop down a bunt or 2. It's 1-0. We're just trying to get guys over, runners in scoring position. No one's going to expect bunts right now. Why not? Fuck it, right? Strategy. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. Yeah, that Broncos-Colts preseason game was probably the most entertaining preseason game in week 1. Uh-oh, he smoked that one. Dominic Canzone, back to the wall. Oh, what a catch by that fan. Ground rule double. Dominic Canzone has missed 2 home runs by a matter of 4 feet combined. Nice job, Dirty Dom. And we ain't talking Dominic Mysterio, baby. Nice job, Canzone. But again, like I said earlier, that first at-bat was of signs of what to come, especially, and then there's a bunt attempt right there. It looks like Scott Service got my text. But I feel like, there's going to be certain players you just have to pay attention. And depending on, even if it ends up being a fly out, how far you end up hitting that ball, or if it ends up being a double, depending on the location of the baseball and where it hits. Bunt attempt. Go, go, go. Throw to first. He moves the guy over. Dude, my ESP is money. The Mariners should be paying me. Like, they should have the NWSF on the fucking payroll. Look at that. But again, I watch more baseball than most people on planet Earth. And, when you're doing the live streams every day, there should be certain individuals that, end up having an inside, hunch about things, especially if you're watching this much. And there you go. Great to be able to see that, because again, a lot of times I'm going to say something out loud, and it's something that I feel that I would do if I was managing. And I don't know if that means that, Scott will get my message in the text or the phone call, but sometimes the message is relayed. And, I think analytics and statistics, a lot of times we're not going to say something just to say it. There is a strategy involved in anything that we do here on this channel, whether it be fantasy football in our lineups or when we end up calling a game. But it's just nice to be able to get that bunt drop down to move that guy over. And it worked. You know what I mean? And we should have been doing that every game. 2 to 4 times a game, we should be dropping the bunts. I mean, how many times do you have to do like a good thing in a row to be like, oh, maybe we should implement this? Or how many games does Jason Vossler have to be good at DH before we reward him and not send him to AAA? Like, sometimes you just got to be able to see what's in front of you. DX with a 5-er. Your boy's got the S. ESP. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Pitch is low and outside to Victor Robles with a runner at third, 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're at 15, 85 to go. Let's go, Victor. Big swing and a miss. Off day for Victor Robles. 0 for 3. Very unusual. But we still have a 1-0 lead. Still an opportunity for him to go 1 for 4 to salvage his day. Next up, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Go, Randy. Five likes more to get to 40. We're at 35. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Now we're at 36. 4 more to go to hit the goal. We got it, baby. And we're at 15. 85 to go. 1-1 pitch to Rosarina, four-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour from Severino. 2 balls and 1 strike. I really like these City Connects, man. The hard hat, batting helmet, and jersey are like top tier. And I get it. The pants, isn't for everyone, and it still is a kind of a new thing, Dribbler. Oh, he dropped it. There we go. And that's what I'm talking about. Francisco Lindor, one of the best players on the Mets, rarely makes errors, but that's why you run hard to first every single time, because you never know that the throw or the adjustment when you're collecting the baseball might get bobbled. Randy running hard, not giving up, and a little bobble, and the ball comes out of Lindor's hand, and it scores a cheap run for the Mariners, 2-0 Seattle. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Good shit, man. Always run hard. Cal Raleigh, back, gone! I told y'all, baby. I told y'all. I had the thumbnails prepped. I had this one. I said he's going yard. I had this one. He's going yard. Hey, when the ESP is on, it is on, baby. 4-0 Mariners. Let's go. Hell yeah. ESP on point today. And anything that we end up saying at the beginning of the broadcast, not everything is going to come true, but if you're a regular listener and watcher, a lot of the things that are discussed on this channel, for whatever reason, end up coming true. Sometimes it happens right away. Sometimes it happens a couple innings later in the game, sometimes the next day, depending on what we're talking about. But wow, there we go. And sometimes you can just kind of feel the energy in the air, at least I do. Like I'll have these things that I'll think about something and I'll say it out loud, or I'll get a vision, or I'll get something in my head and I'll think about something and then I say it, but sometimes you can feel when a player is due for a home run, and Cal has been due, for a couple days, and there it is. And obviously, the best clutch hitting, athlete on the Mariners in the 7th inning and beyond, right? But when Uncle Mo is flowing, you never know what might happen. Pretty fucking amazing. Let's go. Way to make me and the rest of the team here on the NWSF look fucking intelligent and smart. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. $10 holla. Appreciate you. Let's go, baby. Julio. Oh, hooking foul. Oh, that would have been an awesome souvenir. And that fan just dropped it. But again, like I said, I feel like a lot of the things, Reflect is a very analytics, metrics kind of guy. And I don't think a lot of people understand the lengths that me and Reflect and my boy Justin go to. Like literally every stream, every day after the games are over, there's many, nerds that are out there that are posting stats about the game. And I send multiple posts to Reflect and Justin every single day, of all the different metrics and hidden gems and stats that the average Mariner fan would not even know of. So that way I can, relay some of that information here, but also to kind of show, we go the extra mile, not only on the NFL and college football side, but we do it obviously on all sports, including baseball as well. Nice job, Cal. Let's go. And again, no one is going to be right 100% of the time. Nobody. You know what I mean? But I feel that we can get as much right here prediction-wise than a Tony Romo or a Tom Brady. And the only difference is, hell, me and Reflect weren't in the NFL. We didn't play quarterback. So, you got a big advantage if you're, a former quarterback and you know all the plays and you know exactly where every person is supposed to be. So if you're just watching games, that shows that what we're reading and what we're watching, we can see things before other people can see them. And sometimes if you can see patterns and tendencies, history tends to repeat itself, right? Records are meant to be broken, but history repeats itself a lot. You just have to be able to notice the signs. And if you can notice the signs and call them out, a lot of times you can end up making crazy ass predictions that come true on the channel. Awesome, man. Polo and Cal Raleigh. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Cal with the trident. Polo with the trident. No one else with the trident in the photo. Nice job. Nice job, fellas. Hell yeah. 4-0. We're trying to go for the sweep, man. Let's go. Nice job, Polo. Nice job, Cal. Exactly what we needed. 4-0 Seattle, baby. Yes. Way to bring that electricity. And it's such a different vibe compared to, we played the Red Sox. We should have won 2 out of 3. We only won 1. Right, so we played bad that series. Then we ended up playing the Phillies. Probably should have won 1. We won 2 in kind of dramatic fashion. Then we play the Tigers and think, we can win 3 out of 3 or 2 out of 3, and we almost get swept 1 strike away. And if it wasn't from Haniger bases clearing double, we would have gotten swept. We were down to our last strike, right? And then now we go into this Mets team playing up to the competition, not playing down. We're playing like we are playing the Red Sox and the Phillies. We're not playing down to the Tiger competition. Not that the Tigers are bad, but just like, as far as the team is situated right now, it's not like the Tigers are one of the worst teams in baseball, but sometimes there's going to be certain matchups where you kind of play down to the competition. And we got our ass kicked by the Tigers. And it's nice to see that the Mets, with a record above 500, similar to the Mariners, that we have outscored 14-0 with 3 innings left in 3 games. Pretty cool. Winker pops up. Randy Arozarena is there, 1 away. No dice for Jesse Winker. Slide out to left. Next up for the Mets, first baseman Pete Alonso in the 5-hole. Jaden in the building. What's good? Yeah, I think I've had a couple of pretty big ones, but I think the biggest one was probably my first year on the channel, and I said that the Eagles were going to win big over the Patriots by 9 or 10 with Nick Foles, and everyone thought I was a crazy fucking lunatic. My former partner obviously went Tom Brady and Patriots. Most of the people called me an idiot, besides Eagles fans that were, hoping that I knew something. I had that sports gods luck on my side, and maybe I knew something that they didn't. And they were obviously hoping that Nick Foles, would be able to get it done. And normally I wouldn't be going against Tom Brady in any situation, especially a backup quarterback that was Carson Wentz that would have won the MVP that year. But the things that I noticed was who had the better O-line, Eagles. Who had the better D-line, Eagles. Who had the better defense, Eagles. Who had the better play calling, I felt Eagles. So I felt like if the Eagles could play a clean game, that they would have a chance at the end to win, and that's exactly what they did. They played a clean game. They got a big sack lunch at the end of the game, to make Tom fumble, and the rest is history. But, not every prediction is going to come out like that, because I easily could have just said, Eagles are going to win, or Eagles will barely win by like a field goal. But to say Eagles big, back, Jeff McNeil over the wall, come on. 4-1 Mariners. Wow, Jeff McNeil says, I'll get the job done. Someone's got to. 349 feet by Jeff McNeil, bringing that electricity for New York, their very first run in 3 games. You would have had a feeling that they weren't going to get shut out today. I was thinking 1 or 2 runs by the Mets, and I was thinking 4 to 5 runs for the Mariners. At least that's what we said at the beginning of the game, so... Now, if we had a different pitcher besides Castillo, if we had Bryce Miller and then we ended up having Logan Gilbert, and if this was George Kirby or Brian Wu, then maybe we get the shutout. But sometimes Castillo is like our 4th or our 5th. Normally, Castillo's our fourth, and I think Miller's our fifth, but he did have a really good outing 2 days ago to help us win game 1 6-0, which was a little shocking and surprising if we're being honest. But normally it's going to go Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, or Kirby, Gilbert, Wu, and then obviously Castillo and Miller at the bottom. Top of the 6, 4-1 Seattle as George Kirby's getting pelted with sunflower seeds. Let's go to the bottom of the 6, 4-1 Seattle. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2, solo blast in the second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. You really want us to cheer for you? Hit another home run. Let's get it, Polo. Batting second, first baseman, Luke Raley. Let's go, Luke. And batting third baseman, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. Raley and Rojas both 0 for 2. Rojas 2 Ks. Come on, baby. Find a way. I mean, I think a lot of Mariner fans really like Raley and Rojas, but again, these guys need to step up. I think most of us have, we already know what we're getting out of Garver, not a lot. But I still think that Raley and Rojas can turn it around. There's still enough, there to turn it around. And otherwise, if Rojas doesn't turn it around, he's going to get his job stolen from him, and Demo is going to take his spot, at third base. So if Rojas wants to continue to play, instead of being a platoon guy, if it's a left-handed pitcher, right-handed pitcher, he's got to be able to step up. And that's why I think Demo has been, taking some of his opportunities. Some of it is platoon ball, but also some of it is Demo was playing a little bit better. I think Rojas is a better defender, but Demo sometimes can be a better hitter, but both are a little inconsistent overall. So. I got to flip on the NASCAR Cup Series. Richmond. We got 4 races left into the playoffs. And I need my boy Chase. Napa know how. Except it's Coca-Cola now. At least for this race. Chase is in 14th. Come on, baby. Hamlin, Dillon, Logano, Suarez, and Reddick. 49 to go. 352 out of 400. Good thing I turned that on. All right, I'm going to put that in front of me here. I got a double dip now. I got to watch both. All right, we're in the bottom of the 6, 4-1 Seattle. Oh, well, look who it is. It's Stanek, the former Mariner. And they're going against his former team. Polo. Back. Off the wall. Hell yeah, Polo. Yeah. He says Stanek who? Good shit. Polo really starting to heat up and turn it around with that bat. I mean, who would have thought that he'd be a better hitter than Dylan Moore, Josh Rojas, and Luke Raley as far as consistency? That's wild. All right, Polo, keep it up, baby. We like. Next up, first baseman, Luke Raley. And at least Luke has hit some home runs as of late. He's been a better hitter than Josh Rojas as far as the guys that have been struggling. Let's see if Luke can end up adding a little bit extra insurance for us here. Today, 0 for 2. He's batting .231 so far here in 2024. Chopper. Foul towards third base off that splitter. 1 ball and 1 strike. 4-1 Mariners. 3-run lead, but we need a little bit more insurance for us to feel comfortable. 1-2 pitch from Stanek to Rayleigh. This is crazy. This is like the first player that was on our team that we've gone against since we haven't played the Reds in Thai France, Viva la France. So, oh, we're going to fuck him up. Pitches outside. And Stanek did, have a few outings in the bullpen where he was good, where we cheered for him and he did well. It was not just the mullet, he was vibing. He was playing well. But then in the last 6 or 7 opportunities, he blew 5 games for us out of 7 opportunities. And, if you're not going to be reliable, we got to be able to find someone better. Luke Rayleigh with the walk, baby. There we go. Runners at first and second now. I like. Getting me to talk like Borat now. Let's go. Bottom of the 6th, 4-1 Mariners. Runners at first and second. Rayleigh to first with a walk. Next up, third baseman, Hollywood Josh Rojas. And if anyone deserves a home run out of this team, it's Josh Rojas. I mean, I can't even tell you the last time that he homered, and it would give him such a lift mentally, if he can end up homering here. Not saying that he will, but if he does, how great would that be? Shows bunt on that first pitch from Stanek. Home ball and no strikes. But hopefully we'll get Rojas with a home run in the next couple days, if not today, because that's someone that really desperately needs it. Cal was due. He got his today. Polo got an unexpected one. And now we got Rojas attempting a bunt. Wild pitch. And then runners are going to advance to second and third, baby. Stanek, boo. Mariners, yay. Stanek struggles continue, but at least it's not our problem anymore. Bye-bye. Maybe he needs to shave that hair. Maybe it's bad luck. Three balls and no strikes. Come on, Rojas. .30 pitch. And that's a walk, baby. We'll take that. Bases loaded, baby. There we go. We'll take that. Bases loaded with no outs. Now we're, there's been games where we don't get anything when we have bases loaded with no outs, but hopefully we'll get at least one run, but there is a chance of 1 to 4 on this particular inning. It could end up being 8-1, 9-1, 10-1 if everything goes right, but at the very least, by the time this inning ends, we should be at least at 5-1. So looks like we're going to be more than likely getting the brooms. 36 laps to go. Hamlin, Dillon, Logano, Reddick, Wallace are your top 5. Come on, Chase. Chase in 13. Jerry in the building. What's good? Grand salami out of Dominic Canzone. I mean, he had pretty much 2 home runs already today that were robbed. That ended up both being doubles, but he missed 1 home run by about 1 foot, and then he missed the second one by maybe 2 feet. So just a little bit more oomph in that swing, and Dominic Canzone would be at the plate right now going for his 3rd home run if everything would have went correctly. But still, a good day for Dom, and obviously he's been injured for quite some time like Julio, so nice to see Julio and Dom back in the lineup. 2-0 count to Dominic Canzone, who's 2 for 2. Ryan Stanek, boo. Dominic Canzone, yay. 2-0 pitch from Stanek to Canzone. Pitch right down the middle for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Let's do it, baby. Two-one pitch. Canzone chops that one foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dominic Canzone, 2 for 2, 2 doubles and a run. 7 home runs here in 2024. Two-two pitch from Stanek to Dom. Chops that one towards first base foul. Count is still remains 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Dom. Big swing and a miss. And there goes Dominic Canzone, 1 away. And it seems like that kind of usually is the trend for us, right? When we end up having bases loaded with no out, that typically that next guy up that can make the big play, most of the time they strike out or pop up or ground out for whatever reason. This would be an awesome time to lay down the bunt to be able to try to get the guy home. We got bases loaded. Obviously, it could lead to a double play, but it could also lead from a guy scoring from third base if you drop a bunt down. Situational baseball. When's the last time we had an opportunity with bases loaded with 1 out to actually drop a bunt down? That could be an emotional time in the game to get us a score. Obviously, getting an RBI single would do the same thing, but a bunt would be sexy. 0-1 pitch. Pitch off Luis Torrenz's chest protector as he smuzzles that into the deck. A little smother job. Luckily, that went off the chest protector there. Otherwise, we would have got a free one from third base to home. One pitch from Stanek to Rivas. Rivas in between the gap. Go, go, go. Five-1 Mariners, baby. RBI single by Leo Rivas. Nice job, Leo. A bunt would have been sexy, but we'll take that. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3. Time for you to go 1 for 4. Let's go, Victor Robles. Got it, baby. Victor, your money, baby. You're not going to go 0 for 4. Let's go. Now we got a pitching change. 5-1 Mariners. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Hell yeah. Let's go, baby. Five-1 Mariners, baby. And if you're just tuning in the bottom of the second, Polanco homered to center, 416 feet, 1-0 Mariners. Then in the bottom of the fifth, Randy Arozarena reached on an infield single to the shortstop. Canzone scored 2-0 Mariners. Then in the bottom of the fifth, Cal Raleigh homered to right center, 415 feet. Arozarena scored 4-0 Mariners. McNeil homered to right in the top of the sixth. 349 feet, 4-1 Mariners. And then Rivas just singled to right. Polo scored. Rojas the second. Rayleigh the third. 5-1 Mariners with Victor Robles in the box. Victor. And it fades foul. That would have been a crazy grand salami. Grab the mustard and rye bread, baby. We're at 25, 75 to go. One pitch. Pitch is outside with that cutter, 87 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Victor Robles, who normally never goes 0 for 3 or 0 for 4. So this will be a good opportunity here. Go, Victor. It's a nice hard hit single. Chopper up the middle. Safe. Yes. Go. There we go. Robles coming through. I told you. I mean, if you watch a guy enough, it was kind of crazy that he ended up being 0 for 3. Usually he ends up getting a hit right at the beginning of the game to go 1 for 1 to set the tone. He runs hard to first base. First baseman with Pete Alonso, a little worried where Robles is. Keeps his eyes on Robles and not on the baseball. Misses it. Ends up being safe. Brings in a few. And now we have a 7-1 score. Yes, sir. 7-1 Mariners, baby. Hell yeah. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Let's go, baby. Runners at second and third with 1 out. And it's always nice when you get bases loaded with no outs and you actually come through. There's been so many times where we've had bases loaded, no outs, and we got nothing. And there's nothing more demoralizing than that, than getting double plays in like back-to-back innings. And you're like, God damn it. We had a chance and then we blew it. So nice for us to be able to actually produce with bases loaded, no outs. Nice job, Mariners. And there goes Victor Robles. Randy Arozarena with the punch out. I'm not sure if that was really a strike 3, but we are up 7-1, so can't really bitch and moan about that. But that was out of the zone. That was a Angel Hernandez call. Next up, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Can you go yard again? Cal can do it. Cal! ESP, baby. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Sometimes you just know, and you just got to say it, that he can do it. And then your sports gods are like, you know what? He can do it. And there you go. 2 home runs in the same game. The MVP of the Mariners. How many times does he have to do this in a game before Mariner fans and MLB fans will recognize the worth and value of big dumper Cal Raleigh? 10-1 Mariners. Hell yeah. Awesome, man. Good shit. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. It's like you almost expect him to hit 2 home runs in a game after he ends up having 1. There's not many guys that are in MLB that you can say that. You can say that about Aaron Judge. You can say that about Shohei Ohtani. But when you say Cal Raleigh, most people don't think Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani and Cal Raleigh in the same sentence. But it's nice for people to be able to see that Cal Raleigh is one of the best catchers in baseball, not even hitting-wise or power, but defensively, a very well-rounded pitcher-catcher combo that we have. Big dumper. Nice job, man. I mean, I don't know what would make this day any better unless we ended up getting a second home run out of Polo as well. 10-1 Mariners. Game 1, we won 6-0 with Bryce Miller. Game 2, we won 4-0 with Logan Gilbert. And Game 3, we got Luis Castillo on the mound, and we're up 10-1. Let's fucking go. Yes, sir. Next up, DHing for the Mariners, first game back, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go. Sometimes you just got to say it. You got to say it, you know? Sports gods are like, you know, I don't know what it is about the sports gods, but they love me and they love this channel. Nice job, Cal. Let's go. Zay in the building. What's good? First time on Sunday Night Baseball in 20 years. We're making the most of it. Fuck yeah, baby. See where we're at on the likes right now. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Where are we at? We're at 39. We need one more to get to 40. There we did. We just got to 40. We need 10 more before the stream ends. So we got 10 likes to get in 3 innings. So I think we can do that, especially as the game keeps progressing. But we're at 40 likes. There we go. Let's go, baby. Hate. Julio's first game back. All right, he's been out for weeks. Okay. Hate. We're up 10-1. RELAX. Now, what kind of name is Huh? Question mark. Ridiculous. What did people think, that Julio was going to play his first game back and go 4 for 4 or 3 for 4? Come on. You know, and he's not even playing center field. He's only DHing, so that obviously means his legs are not 100%. And obviously when you hit, you know, legs is a big part of it, so it's all good. We're good, man. We're up 10-1. Everything is gravy right now. We're at 25, 75 to go to hit the goal. Everything going the Mariners' way. But we're going to start another set on the road with the Tigers, and then we're going to have to go to Pittsburgh and face Skeens on Friday. So it's going to be tough. Tomorrow the Mariners have off, and then we go to Detroit after getting our ass kicked and only winning 1 game out of 3. We got to turn that around, and we're definitely going to be going against Football again. So we're probably going to lose that one. But if we can win the other 2 and go 2 out of 3 on the road, that would be nice, instead of going 1 out of 3 against Detroit in Detroit after only going 1 out of 3 in Seattle. And then when we go against Skeens in Pittsburgh, hopefully you know, we can play well, and it's not going to be just like an automatic loss against Skeens, and then we can win the other games when he's not pitching. But I'm definitely looking forward to Skeens, and I believe it's on Apple TV Plus on Friday night, because obviously they want to showcase that game, and that'll be the second best pitching matchup for the Mariners this year. Number 1 was Scooball earlier a couple days ago. We're going to get Scoo again this week, and then we'll also get Skeens on Friday with Pittsburgh. So we're going to have to bring it, and it's not like Scooball and Skeens are untouchable, but again, if we can bring this kind of momentum that we have here against the Mets, against Detroit, and against Pittsburgh, we'll be just fine. You know, there's always going to be someone that likes to complain about something, you know. That's just what, you know, trolls and haters do. They can't be happy with their own life, so they just have to try to make everyone else miserable that's happy or content, you know, to get a rise and whatnot. Throw to second on the force out, double play. Nice double play, baby. Look at Polo acting like he's like some gold glove, like phenom, like Jeter. Rojas, Polo. Rivas. What we're getting out of our infield with no JP Crawford playing. It's nice to be able to see some of these guys playing well because we know JP is a wizard on defense and doesn't make errors that often, but nice to be able to see some of these other guys like Rivas and Polo that aren't the greatest defenders and them work together with Rojas or Demo, whoever's at third, going to whoever's at first. Normally Justin Turner and sometimes there'll be other individuals that will be playing first base, but nice to be able to see the effort that we're getting. And we know Luke Raley can play first as well as Demo as well. So we have a number of guys as well as Tyler Locklear, but he's in AAA. So, and it's crazy that, we had Ryan Bliss, get that home run and then we haven't seen him since. So I'm not sure if we're going to see Ryan Bliss here tonight. I mean, we're up 10-1. We can always have him pinch hit or pinch run for someone late, at least get them some experience. But everything is going all Seattle. What a great 3-game set. But I had a good feeling that we were going to play much, much better than what we did against the Tigers. We played down to the competition with them, and we're playing up to the competition against the Mets. And I'm happy that we didn't get swept by the Mets here because, going to Detroit and going to Pittsburgh, that could be a very bad stretch for Seattle if we would have played bad this particular series. Nice. Another punch out, baby. Let's go. 10-1 Mariners. Jamie Moyer. God, he pitched forever. What a game. What a 3-game set. 6-0, 4-0, and 10-1. I don't know if we anticipated this on Sunday Night Baseball, but we'll take it. Next up, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, an RBI and a K. Second baseman Jorge Polanco. Can he go for his second home run this game? We'll find out. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a run and a base on ball. First baseman today, Luke Raley. Let's go, Nuke Raley. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a run, base on ball, and 2 Ks. Probably the individual that struggled the most in the lineup as of late. Third baseman, Hollywood Josh Rojas. And remember, he did bat 300 to 350 in April and May in the 9-hole when they had JP, Polo, and Julio all batting 150 at the beginning of the year. So we know that Rojas can do it, but he definitely has been in a little bit of a slump since April and May, but that doesn't mean that he can't get back to his former self. But it all starts off here with Jorge Polanco. Let's go Mariners. I'm telling you, he's a special player. And I recognize, that he was a little bit different even in his rookie year. And then now, as you compare him to the other catchers in the league, he definitely is top 5. You could argue top 3. Obviously Adley Rutschman is always going to be the most popular because he's on the Orioles, right? Salvador Perez is the OG that's almost, about to retire, but has been consistently good for pretty much his whole career. And it's like he's always batting 300 and getting good home runs and RBIs for the Royals, but his career is almost up. So, and then you got Cal Raleigh. And, I think Cal is going to continue to get better and better. And once Salvador Perez retires or starts to slow down or bat under 300, and then that might be the day where we start seeing Cal, on a regular basis being in the All-Star game or at least being an alternate. And it shows you how good Cal really is. Batting average is a little low, but you could say that for every player on the Mariners. But again, it's all the intangibles and all the other things that Cal does that makes him such a valuable player for the Mariners. And you could argue that what Cal brings defensively and being a good catcher, throwing guys out from the knees to second, and what he brings in the box, you can argue that Cal Raleigh is the most important player on the Mariners today, even over guys like Logan Gilbert and George Kirby and Brian Wu, Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller. Just the fact that we have such a solid, catcher that does so many things, for our team, offensive, defensively, and leadership quality-wise, to make sure that these pitchers don't lose their confidence or their swagger. There's not many guys over the years that are like Cal Raleigh, and hopefully we can make Cal Raleigh a Mariner for life somehow, some way. Either he takes less money or we pay him the big money and he stays. But I just can't imagine my life without Cal Raleigh in it. And it's like I don't even want to watch Mariner baseball. Cal's not a part of it. That's how much I enjoy Cal Raleigh on this Mariner team. We got to keep the three amigos on the team for the remainder of their careers. And the three amigos are the guys that started at the same time: George Kirby, Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh. We need to keep those three guys together as long as we can. Bottom of the seventh, 10-1 Mariners. Is this real? Someone pinch me. Jacob in the building. What's good? Cal already is a great hitter. Like I said, of course, once he starts hitting, if he ever gets to a point where he's hitting 300 to 325, then we're going to be like, oh my God, you're the best catcher in baseball. But until that day happens, if he ends up batting 200 to 250, he'll be in the conversation of top 3, top 5. But if he can ever get his batting average to 300 to 325, I think there's going to be an argument that it'll be him or Adley Rutschman as like the best catcher in baseball. And then we're going to have to look at like the home runs, the RBIs, and all the other things that those two players do to have a battle on who's the best. But we already know Adley will always get the popular vote, because obviously what he did in college and being on the Orioles. Mariner players don't get really a whole lot of love, but as consistency grows, the legends grow. And we've had some pretty good ones. Ken Griffey Jr., Randy Johnson, Edgar Martinez, Ichiro Suzuki. And then now, we got a couple more. Felix Hernandez was in that group, and now we got Julio, we got Cal, and we got George Kirby. So, and obviously Logan Gilbert is one of those guys too. So, we got a lot of elite guys. It's just a matter of if they can stay consistent, they can stay injury-free, and if somehow, some way, we can keep them all on the payroll. All right, we're at 43. 7 more likes before the stream ends to get to 50. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. 7 more to hit the goal for the stream overall. Let's go. 7 more, and then we're 75 away on the Dono train. Pitches inside to Luke Raley. 3 balls and no strikes. And I finished up The Boys on Prime. Highly recommend. And I'm on Umbrella Academy. I started it from season 1, episode 1 as a refresher, even though I've already watched the first 3 seasons. And now I'm on season 3, episode 6. I got 4 episodes left of season 3, and then the brand new season just dropped, the last season, which is 6 episodes for season 4, and the show is over. So I will probably finish Umbrella Academy later tonight or tomorrow, and then I'll be looking for a new show to watch. Or I might just dive into an old show like True Blood just for the hell of it. Pitches outside to Hollywood Josh Rojas. 1 ball and no strikes. Come on, Hollywood. Jay, Ken, and Mike, absolutely. Takes a strike on that sweeper. Rojas crushes that sinker foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 7th, 10-1 Mariners. Is this real? This is the type of baseball that Mariner fans have been salivating for years. He says, hell on wheels, oh. And what is it on, Prime? There we go. Nice job, Josh. Nice job, Josh. I'm proud of you. Nice base knock, single into left. Rayleigh to second, Rojas to first. Nice job. Runners at first and second now with Rayleigh and Rojas. Double R's, baby. Next up, 2 for 3 with a run into K, Dominic Canzone. And if it was just a little bit higher, on both hits earlier, Dom would be in the running of hitting 3 home runs in this game. Gotten robbed in his first 2 at-bats of doubles that should have been home runs. And Dom is on. He's got some good vision at the plate in the box today. 1-0 pitch. Check swing for Dominic Canzone with the sweeper. 1 ball and 1 strike. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Let's get to the goals on the stream the best that we can. Pitch in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. 1-2 pitch. Chopper towards third base, foul. Count remains 1-2. Let's go, Dirty Dom. I'm a cartoon aficionado. I'm not sure if there's anyone on planet Earth that watches more cartoons than me on a daily basis. I'm up there. I'm up there. But it all depends. But again, it all depends if you are an X-Men person, and if you watched it when you were a kid or not. And I feel a lot of the people that watched it as a kid obviously, wanted to watch it again, when it ended up coming out like on Disney Plus. And anyone that has watched X-Men 97, they did a great job. Like I said, there's been some shows that have been failures to me, like House of the Dragon 2 and The Acolyte. Those were not good, but The Bear, The Boys, X-Men 97, Shogun, there's a lot of shows that have been great, but everyone's going to have a different opinion, on the shows. But if you like X-Men, the original cartoon, I don't see why you wouldn't like X-Men 97. It obviously is a 2024 ramped up version where the cartoon animation is a little different, but not much. It gives you a 2024 vibe, but it still gives you X-Men original cartoon vibes from the mid-90s. So, and I feel the writing was good. The voice acting was pretty good. And again, if I'm going to be critical on certain things, of course it would be cartoons and whatnot. But again, everyone is going to have their favorites. But I think they did a good job with X-Men 97. So. Yeah, but you also have to realize they're not going to keep it the same from the actual X-Men cartoon. They distinctively made changes on purpose, to, some of the clothes and, some of the characters in the show. So I get it, if they made it exactly like the X-Men original cartoon, maybe, it would have suited the audience as a whole a little bit more. But, just like in every TV show or movie, not everyone will be satisfied with the end product, right? But give it a chance. All right, Victor Robles in the box. Big swing and a miss. Bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. 10-1 Mariners. Oh, almost hits him on the foot. But also too, I think from me compared to you, also how we're different. You'll watch a show or a cartoon or a movie based off one person, and I typically don't. So if you're a fan of one actor or one actress or one particular character in a show, that might make or break a show for you. You might love it because the character's in it, or you might not like a particular character's in it, and it ruins the rest of the cartoon for you because they didn't do a good job on the gambit. So I get it, but again, some people are going to kind of push that to the side and look at the product as a whole, and then others are going to have their favorites, and if they have a favorite actor or actress or character, and if they do it correct, you're going to love it. If they don't do it correct, to your opinion, then it may be something that you're just not into. So I can kind of get your point of view. I'm just a little bit different. I don't let one individual kind of gauge me on my overall opinion. At least I don't try to. Sometimes it's a little bit more harder than others, but I try to look at it as from like a whole, like from beginning to end, all the characters, the plot, the writing, who's in it, the whole 9 yards. And then, I'll give it kind of like, oh, I like this, or no, I don't really like this. But, that's what makes all of us individuals and different, right? You'll watch it for an individual. I'll watch it more as, the product as a whole. So, and there's no really right or wrong answer on how to watch something, but, 3-2 count. And that's a walk. Let's go, baby. We'll take that. We'll take that freebie. 11-1 Mariners. Hell yeah. Robles with the walk. We'll take that. And everything is going crazy for Seattle here. We've scored 21 runs, 21-1 in 3 games. Is this real? And it doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon. Wow. Right. And also, you live in Australia. A lot of us here live in the United States. So there's going to be, different things that you grew up with that we didn't, and things that, we grew up with and you didn't. So, everyone's vibe will be a little bit different and whatnot. So for me, I just like to find quality programming, whether it's a documentary, a cartoon, a movie, a TV show. I'm always looking to, be able to watch something that's new. And there's nothing wrong with having your comfort zone and watching that show that makes you feel good, or something that you rely on that you can have on the background, like Game of Thrones or Dexter or Grimm or True Blood for me. I can always rely on Breaking Bad. Like, I can throw certain shows on even though I've watched them before, but it also depends on the connection that you have with the characters. So Percy Jackson, nice. How much different is the Gambit accent from the original cartoon to the X-Men 97? Is it very noticeable? I guess if you're listening, if you're like watching one program and then all of a sudden you flip on the other one, then you'll notice the difference. But I think with me, I binged it. And I watched like the X-Men cartoon from beginning to end, and then like months passed, and then I ended up watching X-Men 97, so I don't think I even remembered the difference within the voices and whatnot. So, but I take your word for it. Bottom of the 7th, 11-1 Mariners beating the brakes off of the Mets, 6-0 game 1, 4-0 game 2, 11-1 Mariners. And now we got Randy Arozarena up. And then what is Hell on Wheels on? Is it on Prime? Oh, Arozarena gets hit, and that brings in another run. And the Mariner fans boo. I don't know if the Mets want to fight, but Randy was not too happy about that. Looked like he wanted to take a swing at the catcher and the pitcher. 12-1 Mariners. I guess we'll find out if they keep hitting us and if we'll have to fight them. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Can he go for 3 home runs in the same game? Let's go, big dumper. 12-1 in the bottom of the 7th with bases loaded and 2 outs. I knew wearing this Julio jersey was going to be good luck. All right, I'll take a look on my search on my platforms. I imagine I'll be able to find it. I would assume it would be on Prime. Let's go, Cal. 3 for 3. 2 runs, a bajillion RBIs, 5 with a base on ball, 2 home runs. Can he do a grand salami? Get the mustard and rye bread? That'd be crazy. 16-1 Mariners. My God. Already 12-1 right now is nuts. It was on Netflix for a time. Okay, I got Netflix through my phone provider, through my cell phone. So I get Apple Plus TV included with my plan and Netflix as my included with my plan. So then it just depends on, like, you know, if I want Hulu, you know, when the fall shows come out, you know, and then obviously I have access to Prime for a little bit and Disney Plus, and we'll see about some of the others. Cal popped up, should stay in play. And we leave 3 stranded, but the damage is done. 12-1 Mariners. One of the best games here for Seattle. End of the 7th. Wave the white flag if you're New York. 12-1 Seattle. Crazy. Next up for the Mets, 0 for 2 with a base on ball, center fielder Brandon Nimmo. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a K, DHing for the Mets, J.D. Martinez, the former Dodger. And batting third, the former Mariner, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, left fielder Jesse Winker. So besides Hell on Wheels, Megan, do you have any other recommendations on any other documentaries or shows that have come out recently that you've watched? Besides the ones that we both have watched based off like new releases in the last couple months? I know, crazy, right? Hot dog from heaven. My boy Justin, my best friend, ended up getting one. He ended up getting one on Friday night. Especially if you're hungry and you've been drinking some beer, nothing better than a free hot dog from the sky. Great promotion. Yeah, seriously, right? And then now we got Seahawks and everything, coming up. So I get it. We're getting closer in USC football for you too. So some of the shows are going to have to get on the back burner. And then you got your rugby cricket. So yeah, you're a busy lady. Star Trek Discovery, Strange New Worlds, original Twilight Zone. Top of the 8th, 12-1 Mariners. 1-2 count to Brandon Nimmo. Now I got Austin Voth into the game now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Nimmo. Yeah, I was thinking more DX, 4-2 or 5-2. That's what I was thinking. I did not think that the Mets would get shut out today. I thought 1 or 2 runs, but I definitely had no idea we were going to go this crazy with Julio's first game back And not only with that swagger and that energy, but then everyone, bringing their A game here today. Polo getting a home run, Cal getting 2 home runs in one game. Amazing. Yeah, Shogun is amazing. The Bear is great. As far as like food programs and where the restaurant life is at, and obviously it's got lip, in it, and it gives you a lot of emotions. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll feel a lot of the heartstrings being tugged, and it's a very emotional journey, and you can buy in and, with the characters, and it's not just one main character. They have like 5 characters that are broken down, and there's obviously one main one, but then the other, side characters are almost built up like main characters. That's what makes it so good, that they just don't follow one individual. They kind of break off, and each individual will have their kind of little episode, dedicated to them. So that way you kind of get to know them a little bit better as well. But very good shows. Top of the 8th, 12-1 Seattle. 1 away. JD Martinez with the check swing on that sweeper from both. 2 balls and 2 strikes to JD Martinez. An interesting Mariner hat. I haven't seen that before. Black hat with the blue, white, yellow, and blue. I kind of like that. Oh, now they're doing the wave now. Jerry in the building. What's good? Three-two pitch. Chop foul behind the plate for Martinez. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full. Everybody participating in the wave when you're up 12-1. Runner goes to first. Martinez with the walk. Next up, left fielder, the former Mariner, Jesse Winker. Winker 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. See if he can end up getting a base knock here before the game ends. Ten and 5 since we traded for Randy. Impact guy. But also not just Randy, Justin Turner, right? Jimmy Garcia, and then obviously the emergence of Victor Robles. So it's more than just Randy. But obviously Randy is the biggest name at the trade deadline, and he's making an impact with this team, which I think a lot of us Mariner fans knew that he would. Winker, and that one drops fair, going into left field by Randy Arozarena, and Winker gets his first hit of the game. How have you been, Jerry? Next up for the Mets, first baseman Pete Alonso. Yeah, Bo's going to be fine. I mean, let's be honest. Bo and Michael Penix Jr. are probably in the best situation, based off players, who their coach is and, what the situation is on where they're at, and then we'll see what Caleb can do with the Bears. I'm still kind of up in the air with Drake May and J.J. McCarthy myself, but, if Bo ends up failing, it's not going to be because of Bo. It's going to be because of the fucking offensive line, the lack of running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, the lack of an O-line, the lack of a defense. There's a lot of holes. But again, this is the first good quarterback they've had since Peyton Manning. So, Bo won't be the problem. He will play like a Baker Mayfield, Drew Brees hybrid. And again, if they can build around Bo, then maybe we'll see Denver in a wild card in a couple years. But I wouldn't assume that they would be in the playoffs for at least a couple, because they have way too many holes on that roster. Got to be able to retool that whole fucking team. But at least you got the quarterback. You got the quarterback down. And then you'll figure out down the road if you want a better backup than Stidham or Zach Wilson. Julio timing is off, but it's his first game back in 3 weeks. right? And if you ended up having a fucked up knee and a fucked up ankle and you're DHing and you're not even in center field and you need your legs to be able to get the most power out of your swings, and Julio already, kind of is a gambler with swinging, right? You had to expect that he probably would go 1 for 4 or 0 for 4. It's not like he was going to go 3 for 4 or 4 for 4, being a DH, and he's not even using his legs in center field. So sometimes the writing is on the wall. He didn't come into the game at center field. They had him DH. So that means he's not even 100% healthy yet. He just didn't want to miss ESPN for the first time in 20 years on Sunday Night Baseball and wanted to try to contribute, on this team. He's been gone for a long time. So sometimes you have to have the proper expectations, going into a game. And let's be honest, there has been no game this year that we thought Julio was going to go 3 for 4 or 4 for 4. He hasn't been that type of player. Maybe in his rookie year or maybe last year, we were like, oh yeah, maybe that'll happen. But this year, I don't think there's been one time where we were like, yep, Julio's going 3 for 4. Yep, Julio's going 4 for 4. I don't think anyone said that this year. If anything, Julio would have went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. That would have been more common than Julio going 4 for 4 in a game. But hopefully things will get better with Julio Rodriguez, and I'm happy that he's back, baby. Bronco offensive line has got some pieces, but it's incomplete. Kind of like Seattle's. It's like you got a couple guys, but it's not to where it needs to be to have everything run efficiently and smoothly. And obviously the Seahawks have a lot better weapons for their supporting cast than Denver does. If Bo Nix was on Seattle and he was throwing to DK and Lockett and Kenneth Walker III and going through that lineup, what kind of numbers would he be getting? Not saying that the Bronco players are trash, but they're not the same kind of players that's on Seattle right now. There we go. Austin Voth getting out of the inning. And that's just a basic, non-biased, real, evaluation, because I try to treat every team as my own, and some teams are going to be in line to be a playoff contender. Some are going to be pretenders. Some are going to be good for a couple years. So go to the bottom of the 8th, 12-1 Mariners. Yeah, nice for him to get him on the cheap, and he was highly rated with the PFF. So again, there's going to be a few other positions that'll be upgraded in the next couple years, and you just got to think McDonald starts drafting highly on the offensive line, hits on a couple picks, right? Ends up maybe bringing in some free agents for some depth, and then also starts getting the right type of players for a baby Ravens defense on the defense. Then everything else is already going to fall into place: quarterback, running back. Also, a tight end will be needed, to get a Sam Laporta kind of player on Seattle in the next 5 years. You end up getting someone like that, then that takes that offense to a whole nother level as well. Now, it's still going to be efficient, but just imagine if Sam Laporta was on the Seahawks, how much better the stats would look, for all the players on the team. So, hopefully Seattle will end up getting one, and then they can battle it out with like the Niners and George Kittle, and each team will have a solid tight end. And when's the last time Seattle actually had a great tight end? Like, let's be honest. I don't know if there's ever been a time where they've had an amazing, top 5 tight end or top 10 tight end, They've had guys that have been good role players, but I don't know if they've ever really had that Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, Sam Laporta, type of tight end. So hopefully one day they'll get one. It's a quarterback's best friend besides a good O-line and a good running game, a great check down tight end. And it seems like as of late, teams that end up having an elite tight end, not only does that help you in fantasy football to win a championship if you have one of the top 4 tight ends, but usually you're going to go pretty far when you end up having those tight ends, especially if you got a good quarterback and a good coach that knows how to use that tight end. So. Jimmy was good on the Saints, not really on the Seahawks. So at that point, that was a mistake with the whole Max Unger thing. You should have never let Max Unger go, But again, he wanted to get a splash name, to see what he can do. But sometimes you got to go with what's not sexy, which was Jimmy Graham was at the time. Max Unger is just a lineman, but I think that they regretted that trade as soon as they did it. Bottom of the 8th, 12-1 Seattle. in the box, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. And I don't know how many games Julio is going to be DHing before he ends up being 100% and can play defense and play in center field. And that way we can move Robles to right. Randy will be in left. But nice to be able to see Julio back in the lineup. And just him being back is nice, bringing that electricity. 1-2 pitch to Julio. Struck him out. Not a surprise. Of course, we would have loved if Julio could have ended up having an amazing day and went at least 1 for 5 or 1 for 4. But him going 0 for 5, he's not 100%. He's a wild swinger in the box. First game in 3 weeks. Coming back from a knee and an ankle. You have to use your legs to get the power to get a proper swing. So for him to go 0 for 5, that probably would have been the most plausible thing to happen if you were betting money on Julio. What would Julio get today in his first game back? 0 for 4, 0 for 5 probably would have been the most betted amount. Not to say that Julio sucks, but it's just his first game back. So, oh yeah. I watched the Mariner pregame show, and they had a Jen Mueller interview with him, and they were already talking about the monkey thing a couple days ago. But yeah, like he grew up with monkeys as a child, and then ended up getting to a point where he, ended up being rich enough to be able to have monkeys as pets, and he actually has 2 of them. I think he's got a boy and a girl. So to be rich, I guess to either be Michael Jackson or Victor Robles, and you can have a monkey, right? Pitch right down the middle for a strike to Polo. 2 for 4 with a home run here today. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. Can you go for 2 home runs in the same game? We already saw one individual do it. Can you? Polo? Little blooper? He says, I can't hit a home run, but I can hit a blooper, baby. Nice game out of Jorge Polanco today. What is that, 3 for 4? Nice to see him turning around. We're still waiting for Luke Raley and Rojas to catch up. But nice for Polo. You can't play defense, but you had the defensive play of the year yesterday with that double play with Leo Rivas, and that momentum is carried over today. I like what I'm seeing. Go, baby. Likes up, donate, comment, share, help your boy out with this Mariners shellacking of the Mets. Get the brooms. We are sweeping this team. How many sweeps have we had this year? I know DX will be able to find that. If we end up sweeping the Mets, which we are, right? They're not going to come back from this 11-run lead that we had. How many teams have we swept this year? And we need 6 more likes to get to 50. We're at 44. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. We need 6 likes before the stream ends to hit the goal. Let's go. Agreed. I knew wearing the Julio jersey would be good luck, too. We've had a heat wave where it was too hot to wear a jersey, so I would just be wearing cutoff, shirts and whatnot. But I figured, okay, the heat wave is gone. We're having a little bit of a cool front here in Oregon. Might as well start throwing the jerseys on the streams. And even though Julio went 0 for 5, the rest of the team made up for it. $75 to go to hit the goal. 6 more likes to hit the goal on the likes, 50. Which is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hollywood, Josh Rojas. Let's go, Hollywood. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Rojas. End of the 8th inning. Let's go to the top of the 9th. Making his MLB debut for the Seattle Mariners. I'll have to see if we can get a photo prepped up here. That's cool that they're actually able to sneak him into this game. Let's see who's up here for the Mets. Next up for the Mets, 0 for 3 with a K, third baseman Jose Iglesias. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K, right fielder Ben Gamel. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a K, catcher Luis Perez. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. 12-1 Mariners, baby. 3 sweeps. Reds, obviously with Jonathan Clase was the first one, I believe. Yeah, right now, in the next 10 days, we're going to have 70 to 82 temperatures. So much better than having 90 to 100. So it feels good to, not necessarily have to use the air conditioning, all the time, and the fans and whatnot. You can leave the windows open a little bit longer. But unfortunately, I had a neighbor yesterday that threw a party that had music and drunk people singing along and being drunk until like 5:30 a.m. But luckily, Paisley didn't go crazy. Cops didn't get called, but I assume if that is going to be a regular thing for these neighbors, then the police will be called. Maybe not by us, but another neighbor. But you would think people would have common sense if you live in an area that has like older people, that you probably shouldn't have people screaming and yelling and having music on, at midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5:30 a.m. in the morning until the sun comes up. But I guess when people drink and party, they don't have common sense. So, but at least I was still able to turn the TV up loud enough where I could drown out some of the music and the talking. Taylor making his way to the show, and his MLB debut almost hits a player. Troy Taylor. Iglesias jammed. Welcome to the big leagues, Troy Taylor. Pitch right down the middle. Wow, 97-mile-an-hour sinker right down the middle. For a strike, 0-1 count. Fire photo. I didn't think I was going to find a good one. Troy Taylor going into the file. One-two pitch. Oh, almost hit him. Well, plus we need good bullpen guys if we're going to make a run, right? We need guys that have good velocity, good top-end speed, and guys that have good control and good location. So with all the guys that we have with Thornton and Sauce and these guys, Austin Voth, sometimes they're okay, but sometimes they're really bad. So we're going to need to be looking at, guys that are in our own system since the trade deadline is over. So. Heck yeah, bro. I know that the Oregon Ducks and Ohio State tickets were like standing room for like $300-400, and I know there would be like scalpers and whatnot, but I still want to be able to go to that game if I can, but I don't want to pay an arm and a leg either. But obviously, if I had to go to only one game this year, it definitely would be the Ohio State-Oregon game, even if we were to lose. But obviously wanting to be able to see the 2 out of the top, 3 teams overall in college football, it's going to be one of the best matchups of the year in the college football ranks in the Big Ten. So obviously when Georgia and Texas go at it, that'll be another good one. Pitch right there on the corner from Taylor for a strike. 1-2 count for Luis Torrens. One-two pitch. Got him. Strikeout number 1 of his career. Goodbye, Luis Torrens. Nice job. Troy getting in the game just because we have this big lead. Nice job. Your very first K in Major League Baseball, and you get a 12-1 lead with run support to get into the game with no pressure whatsoever. Nice job, Taylor. Maybe this will be another guy we can add to the bullpen and replace one of the other guys that has been struggling for us. I mean, we're definitely looking for a Sauce replacement and a few others, so. Yeah, but if I end up not going to the Ohio State game, I mean, I'm going to try to live stream every Duck game that I'm not going to, but I'm definitely going to be going to at least 1 or 2 games this season. Kind of just depends if I want to sit close and I want to go to like a high-profile matchup, or if I want to go and sit a little bit further back and then maybe go to a couple games. I guess it just kind of depends on the cost and the seating. What was the score in the Cowboys game and that particular matchup? Wow, 13-12 Rams. Broncos-Colts game was much more entertaining. Highest scoring game in preseason by a lot. Popped up. And that is a souvenir for a fan. Fading foul. Stetson Bennett. Yeah, he had mental health problems, and then he walked away from football, and they let him. But he's not. I mean, you might have been good enough to be at Georgia, but he's not going to be a good pro. You know, he definitely is only going to be a backup or a third-string quarterback. You know, even if he didn't have mental health issues. I mean, shit, I've had mental health issues, but again, I just don't think that he's got the arm strength or the talent to be a starter in this league. But he could end up maybe being a second or third stringer on a team, but definitely not first string. Another punch out for Taylor, and that is the game. Hell yeah. Nice job by Taylor, baby. Aaron Moose is loving it. Fuck yeah, baby. MLB debut for Taylor, and he gets 2 Ks. That's a good sign for our bullpen. Fuck yeah. Final score, Mariners 12, New York Mets 1. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win, Mariners win, Mariners win. And we get the brooms, and we get the sweep. Let's go. Hell yeah. DX with a $5. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Anything you want to see photo-wise before I end up going? Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Let me know what you want to see for photos, and I got you. Megan with a tour. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. I'll stay on the line for another probably 10 minutes, do some photos for some donos, and then we'll end up calling it a day. Let's go, baby. I mean, it's not only 2 home runs, but how often he hits 2 home runs in a game. It's like such a common thing. It's crazy. Like, what other catcher is going to be able to hit multi-home run games like on a regular basis? And you'll get some F1 next week. Since we got NASCAR, I watched a little bit of the trucks and a little bit of the NASCAR Cup Series as well. And who knows, maybe I'll tune into a little F1. I was watching some like dirt bike racing, flipping through some of the other events that are going on that have to do with, motorcycles or, different vehicles and whatnot. Sometimes I like to just be able to see what's going on. All right, no problem, Megan. I got you. What an amazing 3-game set. Much better than the Tiger series for the Mariners. Mariners threw 27 consecutive scoreless innings, 5th longest scoreless streak in franchise history. And it's nice for fans that aren't the Mariners or the Mets to see, if they watch this game, that, hey, the Mariners are the real deal when we're clicking. We can hang with anybody. It's just a matter of if we can get into that nice rhythm early and often. And thank God we did today. Hell yeah, big jumper, baby. Most valuable player on the Mariners this year. Better be a Mariner for life. Austin Dillon crashing Logano to get the win. Wow, desperate finish there at Richmond. Wow. There's going to be some people that are going to fight Austin Dillon after this race. Logano's like, I want to punch him in the face. Wow, I sent Hamlin into the wall also. Dillon said, I don't give no fucks. I need to win this race or I'm not going to be in the playoff. Wow. That was some like Dale Earnhardt Intimidator shit right there. Wow, big win for Austin Dillon. I mean, obviously, if he doesn't win one of the final 4 races, he doesn't get in. Crazy. It's always suspect, though, when you end up being too aggressive like that. Like, again, you won, but you didn't really win clean, and now people are going to come after you. First win this season. Definitely wasn't the cleanest win, but wow. Joey Logano, he's pissed. And Denny. Denny and Joey are going to be going for blood. Wow. I didn't know it ended like that. Where are we at on the likes? Did we hit 50? Tell me we hit 50. We're still at 45. We need 5 more likes to get to 50. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. 4 more to get to 50. We're at 46. So close. But 40 plus is obviously good. But when you're that close to getting to 50, it's just nice to be able to try to hit that number if we can. But if we end up falling a couple likes short and hit 47, 48, 49, so be it. But if you do have the ability to smash the like button and you haven't done it, that would be amazing. It helps out with our numbers overall, and it has been helping a lot. Four more to 50. Reflect with a 3 here. Appreciate that. Now we're at 35. Anything that you want to be able to see photo-wise, let me know. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. 35 is better than 32. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little cactus jack. Bang, bang. What an amazing 3-game set. And then let's take a quick look here. Mariners have the day off tomorrow. So let's take a look. Cubs, Guardians, Cardinals, Reds, Astros, Rays, Rangers, Red Sox, Royals, Twins. So if I do a stream tomorrow, it'll be Dodgers and Brewers. Clayton Kershaw is pitching, but he's 0 for 2, so he hasn't been very good since his rehab stint and been out the whole year. So obviously I'll make a post in the morning, and we're either going to do Dodgers and Brewers, 2 good teams in the National League, or we'll just take the day off, and then we'll get ready for Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we play the Tigers at 3:40 Pacific. George Kirby versus Skubal. Right out of the gates, we got to go against one of the best pitchers. So that's what will be on tap. Dodgers, Brewers at 5 o'clock Pacific, or we'll take the day off. And I'll see how I feel in the morning at that particular time. And I like doing the Dodgers, when the Mariners are off. And, usually I'll shoot for 5 to 10 Dodger games, about 150 plus for the Mariners. So that way we get 162 baseball games throughout the season. Anything here? Better Call Saul. Anything you're looking for? Saul Goodman, baby. But that Mets series was a lot more enjoyable than that Tigers series, let me tell you. It's just crazy that we were able to put up 22 runs to 1 in 3 games. You're probably not going to see that often, but we'll take it, baby. Yeah, I mean, chances are we're going to get our ass kicked, unless we can bring that momentum that we've had in this Mets series and we can get extremely lucky and we can do something, against Skubal. But again, as long as we win the games after SCU, or if we end up playing a great game and we score 5 to 10 runs, then we can hopefully compete with the Tigers, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. And we got SCU ball on Tuesday and Skeens on Friday. So again, there's a couple losses that could be there, but as long as we're winning some of the other games around those matchups, and if we can get incredibly lucky and win one of those two or both, that would be great. But I wouldn't be expecting to win in those two games. You never know. All right, I appreciate you guys very much. I got to go take Paisley for a long walk and eat some dinner. Final score, Seattle Mariners 12, New York Mets 1. We get the sweep, get the brooms. Julio is back. And Cal Raleigh, what can you say? 2 home runs in the same game. Unbelievable. Nice job by Polo as well. But when you can get 2 home runs in a game, it ends up being electric. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.